What we
right.
saying?
If it's 3-0 or more, deal. There you go.
Well, no, hold on a second. 3-0 feels like a lot. I just think if Leeds win...
No, 3-0 or more.
I think if Leeds win...
3-0 or more.
If Leeds win today...
All right.
Bridges in the tank top with his guns out. And you would agree eventually. We agreed off air to 3-0. I just changed the rules slightly there at the start of it. OK, let's get stuck into it today because Leeds are back at home, of course, after that draw away at Preston. 7 points in the last week. And now back at home against a team who we know are struggling. They've got a managerial change as well.
Yeah.
Gary Rowett has been announced as their new manager, but he'll be sitting in the stands watching today. Officially kind of takes over tomorrow.
Tell you what, a very good appointment for Oxford, by the way. I'm a big fan of Gary's. I'm delighted that he's not in the dressing room, giving his advice. The players haven't seen him. He's come and you've just said he's going to be observing from the stands. For me, that puts the players on notice of Oxford, no doubt about it. But he hasn't been able to, meet the players and get his words of wisdom across. So it's one of them. Always be worried about a team that have just got a new manager, even the form and the horrendous state that Oxford have been in this season. So that's a good appointment for them. Let's hope we send them back Christmas with 0 points. Yeah,
because of course on paper, I mean, this one looks like a home win, doesn't it? With Leeds' form at home being as it is, Oxford yet to win away on the road and being where they are. But, teams at some point start scrapping, don't they? And it might be. It's also very blustery. It's worth mentioning the weather out there. Very blustery today. The ball's going to be moving all over the place. Studio. Yeah, it's a cold one.
Very windy. But it does play its part. And, again, we, as Leeds United, like to play that, possession-based game. We like to play the passes on the floor, but also we've got that switch of play. Tanaka's been outstanding this season doing that with the switch of play. Rothwell. So that's going to impact the way we play. And like you say, it favours Oxford. If they know it's going to be like a huge blustery day out there, you never know what's going to happen. And the goalkeepers have got to be very, very alert for days like this.
Let's kick off with the team news today because you saw him leading the team in the club captain, Ethan Ampadu, starts today in central defence alongside Joe Rodon. Pascal Struijk hasn't made it in terms of full fitness. Daniel Farke said he was 50-50. He is on the bench. Max Weber hasn't made it. He called them both 50-50s, so he's not on the bench today. The other change is Manuel Solomon starts ahead of Willie Gnonto. But let's just go back to that Ethan Ampadu news because he's been probably sat there on the bench just itching to get going. He's made appearances in the last couple of games, but he starts today in the heart of that defence. He is the club's leader. How big a moment is that for him?
Yeah, it's incredible when you think about he was a mainstay, he was the captain. Well, he still is the captain, but you thought he's going to play every week. Obviously, Rothwell and Tanaka have come in, and they've been so good in that midfield. And it's been very hard to see Ethan get in after his injury. But I'm delighted that he is. I know one player's loss is another, but he's been itching at the bit. He is a leader. I think he's colossal, whether he plays midfield or centre-half. And if you remember that run last season we had, I think it was 9 clean sheets in a row. He was playing at the heart of defence alongside Rodon. So they had a good understanding straight away when it was disjointed. So he'll be delighted he's back in the starting lineup. And again, that man there, Daniel Farke, he's made a big decision saying, Gnonto, you're out, Solomon, you're back in. And it's good. Again, I say it's competition for places. It's a healthy competition in Solomon, somebody that you can always rely on as well because he terrorises defences. And if Willie's upset that he's not involved, you've got somebody that can come on and make an impact.
Yeah, we saw Daniel Farke coming in there. We mentioned how blustery it is. Always evident. You just look at Daniel Farke's hair and you can get the wind gauge. So it was all over the place there. You can see it is really windy out there today. And it's going to be big. And in terms of that central defensive partnership in particular, balls that are going to be moving around in the air. If Oxford sort of start playing in the way we have seen teams with a low block and actually punting it forward when they get opportunities, it is going to be moving around a bit. For the central defenders, they're going to need to be switched on. Yeah,
I like to say the wind plays a massive impact, whether you're a striker, midfielder, defender, goalkeeper mainly as well. Obviously, the ball, the flight when it's coming into the penalty area, you've got to judge that well. So it's going to play an impact today, and it's whoever can handle that. If we can't allow that to distract us away from our game plan. That's what Daniel Farke will be saying there. I know you're saying his hair's blowing everywhere, and you can say that he'll be in there just saying, lads, we've got to concentrate on our play and get the ball into the wide areas because I think that's where we can hurt them, in the wide areas with our wingers and Solomon being one of the main men that can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll hear from Manuel Solomon in just a moment. Just to mention, this is the start of a really busy period now. Once you get to that pre-Christmas game, and then we've got you're into Boxing Day, the one after that, then it's New Year's Day, and then through to the FA Cup. It's a really important stretch here. This next 3, 4, 5 games for Leeds is going to, go a long way to determining how this can pan out for us.
Huge period. I mean, the home form we've talked about at Elland Road were, magnificent. It's the 2 away games over the Christmas period. We're back here on New Year's Day. If we can get the 7 points, if not maximum 9 points from today in the next 2 away games, We're in a very, very good, healthy position, Rich, because they come thick and fast, the games. It's all about keeping the squad fit, keeping them healthy, and wrapping them in cotton wool, not in wrapping paper. I say, hey, keeping everybody ready to go. And I think when we're back here for the Blackburn game on New Year's Day in 2025, we're going to have an indication of where these last 3 matches have been. But it's got to start at 3 points against Oxford today.
Yeah, which we'll see you wrapped in this lovely tank top. Can't wait. Okay, let's get some thoughts from ahead of the game from one of the starting 11 today. He's in for Willie Gnonto. Starting is Manor Solomon. Here's his thoughts ahead of today's game against Oxford.
Well, Manor, back at Ellen Road. This looks like an important game this afternoon.
Yeah, of course, it's an important game today. We're going to play in front of our fans. We know we need to get the job done to take the 3 points today. And we know we need to deliver a good performance, especially after last week, and to take the 3 points.
They've changed their manager since the last time they played. Does that make preparation for the game a little bit more complicated?
Yeah, we've heard about this. We've talked about it. We don't know how it's going to affect how they will line up today or how they're going to play today. So I think we're ready for all the scenarios. And as I said, we just need to get the 3 points today to deliver a good performance. And yeah, that's it.
And the home form has been really good, so you want to keep that run going in this final home game of the year.
Yeah, it's a final home game of the year today. Yeah, so far we've had so many good games here. We have a good streak of wins at home. So we want to continue this way. We want to get the 3 points. We want to deliver a good performance, and hopefully we'll continue today.
Yeah, and as we know, that home form is excellent. Hoping to continue that today. It's the away form that hasn't been quite up to that same standard, but 7 points in a week overall on reflection, even if the Preston game wasn't the win that we'd hoped for, is a pretty good return, having gone to Deepdale.
Yeah, it is, and when you consider the manner in which we got the point from the game, I think Daniel Clark alluded, we've got to be more clinical on a more regular basis and find the back of the net because of the chance that we are creating. But Preston put up the way that they did, the counter-attack. I think they learnt a lot from Burnley when they scored a counter-attacking goal against us. And I just think it was that there was a lot that could have impacted this to stop it from its source. But I mean, you can't take anything away from that pass across to catch out a defensive line like that, to be able to see it, for one, to execute it, and then obviously for the finish for Potts when he takes it first time. I think, Meslier look back at that and think, well, I've got a cross, got my hands to it, but he's scrambling from one side of his goal to the other. So I still say that there's a lot of moments. I think Dom Matthew was in the studio saying it's got to have been stopped before the source, because you can see the numbers piling forward. This is normally what we do to teams, Rich, when we get overloads in the final third. But take nothing away from that. And that was their game plan. And then they've asked the question back saying, are we going to allow Leeds back into this game? We're going to put our blocks up. We're going to be defensive and see what you can do. And I'm absolutely delighted for the goal scorer that came on and got the goal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a credit in the end as an own goal, but Mateo Joseph's done everything he possibly can in terms of getting across the player, putting the pressure on. And we spoke to him afterwards, sort of thought, have I got a little touch on this? But in the end, when you see the final replay, it's come off the defender.
I'm still giving it.
Well, of course you are.
Of course, yeah. I'm the Strikers Union. We are sticking together. Mateo Joseph, it was the run across the defender. I loved it. He anticipated what DJ was going to do when he got the ball. And it comes out in a wide position. I just love how he gets himself away from goal, and then he sees the pocket of space there. And when Dan puts it across, there's nothing better getting in front of the defender. And what he does, he actually, it's an own goal, but to actually get in front, you put the defender off. He's blindsided from where the ball is because of your body position. And we are taught that as strikers from such a young age, whether it's academy level through to senior level, you must make runs in front of the defenders because it causes havoc. So fair play to him. He got his chance. He came on and got the result. That can turn out to be a huge point. You
have to take positives as well, don't you? And Daniel Farke did after the game. Yes, it's not the 3 points, but the manner which they kept going. In fact, Leeds have scored more goals in the 90th minute plus than any other team in the Championship this year. I think it's up to 6 plus. Now.
That's a huge plus. Concentration levels, fitness levels, they all come into account when you have that statement and stats there. And game changers from the bench.
And from a squad point of view, does that give players belief that actually, whatever happens, if it doesn't quite go our way, we're still going to get the chance, we're still going to get ourselves back in there?
Yeah, always. It's something where I've played in teams in the past where you've known if you go 1 down, 2 down, you're not getting back in the games because you haven't had that belief in that, you're on a slump. this team and this confidence, when you've got players that make that impact, when you've got the style of play that we have, you know you're always in a game, and that's a huge thing. And I see that running throughout this team, and it's a sign of champions. That's what champion teams do. Champions winning teams do never say die attitude, and they're relentless.
But we know this stat about when Leeds score first. It's a ridiculous percentage that they go on and then win the game, or they certainly don't lose the games under Daniel Farke. That stat is incredible. 6 of the last 7 away games we've conceded first. How do they go about making sure that doesn't happen? We've got these away games coming. And I know that in some ways
Rich,
a simple question.
Today. I don't want to put it down on it.
Let me ask you the question, Mike, because Daniel Farke said that he was disappointed that they started slowly in that game.
Yeah.
With the 2 games coming away from home, how do they prevent that from happening again? How do they get themselves on the front foot away from home?
We take all of Elland Road, all the fans with us. We just take the stadium down there, we fill it, and we feel like it's home. It's a tough one, and I like I say, I don't know what is said before the games at home. We don't get to see the luxury of what is said from the away, but you'll be saying the same message. You must start well. It's having that clean sheet mentality. We've got to make sure we are switched on. And the lads, again, have got to look at their attitude and their application before the games. What do you do when you're playing at home? And what are you doing when we're travelling and all the rest of it? So there's a lot of, I'm sure they're taking into every possible percentage of what goes on to make sure that away standard is trying to replicate what it does here, because we can't afford to go goals behind.
Yeah, well, we've certainly got 36 and a bit thousand Leeds fans ready to go in blustery Beeston today. And up on the gantry with your commentary from 3 o'clock will be Tony Dorigo alongside Brynlaw. Let's get their thoughts ahead of today's Sky Bet Championship match.
Well, here in the tunnel, it's all calm. Out on the pitch, it's pretty windy. That may impact the way the game plays out. We'll talk about the team first. Couple of changes to talk about there, Tony.
Yes, Ampadu comes back in, so good to see him back. Pascal Struijk clearly isn't 100% fit, so he's on the bench. And Manor Solomon comes in. I thought he had a really good 20-minute cameo at the end of the Preston game, so he's back in from the start.
I mean, the object of the exercise, no matter what the starting 11, is exactly the same, isn't it?
To get the job done. Yeah, absolutely. It's a home game. We're flying at home. We're strong. A lot of games, short space of time. Rotate, use the squad, and make sure that if there is 1 or 2 injuries, just to not keep playing those players and give them a bit of a rest here and there. And we've got the squad to do that.
They'll have been preparing for one Oxford United side up until a couple of days ago, and then they've decided to change their manager. Gary Rowett comes in. Does that put all those plans out the window?
To a point it does. It's difficult. I think you can only look at the previous game, so no doubt Daniel Farke will have done that and will have tactics to combat that. There might be 1 or 2 new things, but you also have to remember why there's a new manager there, in that they haven't been very good and they're low down in the table. They've just been promoted, so it's a real struggle for them. They'll be coming here not relishing the occasion. So we're going to make sure we start quickly, make it really difficult for them, and let's see how they get on. Ask them a few questions.
The conditions I've just mentioned, it is pretty windy out there, to say the least. How does that impact?
It's a leveller, unfortunately. I think the worst thing to play in for a player is the wind. I don't mind a bit of rain, wet, that's okay, but that real strong wind. So hopefully it calms down a little bit. And obviously we're in the middle of the stadium. The pitches, hopefully that is okay and shields it a bit. But there's no doubt that it is a leveller. We have to be brave, get it down on the ground and try and keep it under the wind.
So there you go. Cope with the conditions and get the job done. That's the message from down here in the tunnel.
Yeah, Bryn and Tony, as always, will bring you your commentary from 3 o'clock today. Elland Road is filling. It's got the Christmas vibes. The truth is, everyone's coming here expecting a Leeds win today, given the form of both teams and Oxford not having won away from home. But does that change in manager just add that little bit of... sometimes with teams, you need a bit of a circuit breaker, don't you? This might be it for them. They'll certainly know that the new manager is watching on, albeit Craig Short, the coach at the moment, is taking charge today. But they'll know that sat up there in the West Stand is the new gaffer, and they're going to want to be in his team. Yeah,
you're always on high alert when somebody new comes into the club environment and you want to perform for that manager. You want to say, you want to keep your place in the team. And they've got a lot to do, Oxford, because obviously you said away from home, no wins this season. On paper, this is, I think, across the board, it's everybody saying it's a home win for Leeds United. Everybody that looks at the lineup, the team sheet, and sees the fixture, only thinking one way. That's not how the Championship works. And like you say, the managerial change can always influence the opposition in trying to produce something because you want to do it. But the stats don't lie. And Oxford's stats this season, touches inside the opposition box, they're 24th. I mean, they're 20th in the league, but they're 24th in touch inside the opposition box. So they're not creating a lot of chances now. If you're not creating a lot of chances, you're not going to get goals. So they're really relying on the defensive. They're having a good defensive unit. Well, 4 clean sheets this season only doesn't suggest that. So Daniel Farke and the lads, like Joel Piroe and everybody that's in that attacking third, they know this is a huge opportunity for chances, but goals.
Yeah, you talk about Joel Piroe, of course, gets the nod today. Mateo Joseph came on and was influential in that goal. There is a snood there, but we won't hold that against him.
No,
Bridgie will.
Snoods are good.
Snoods are all good.
I remember when Darren Huckabee introduced snoods to the Leeds United team when we played away in Europe and Russia, and he went and bought a load of snoods for the lads. So I don't mind wearing these.
Get your snoods out for the lads.
Yeah,
there you go.
there you
It's
go.
not a sentence I was expecting from today, but there you go. But you see, now Tanaka getting ready there. They've got to be switched on here, and Daniel Farke will make sure that they are, because as much as it is a case of, Leeds very much favourites for this, actually in some ways, to be switched on, to get a good start, effectively, if they can put this game to bed as quickly as possible, you can rest a few minutes, get some minutes in other legs and rest some players.
Control the game. I like what Tony Drago said before when we listened to him in Bryn. He said the weather, the wind is a leveller today because it's very hard. It'll put Leeds out of their normal style of play. He used the word brave. Leeds United have got to be brave to get the ball down and believe that this wind doesn't impact them enough and keep possession, because the chances will come. And again, Aaronson, a man that I'm delighted for him that he's bounced back this season and shown the Leeds fans what he can bring to this team. And he's he went away to play in the Bundesliga. He had a crack there. He's come back, and I'm pleased that he's settled in. He's got himself some goals, and a man that'll be delighted with him as well. The boss, Daniel Farke, he's put a lot of faith in giving him the opportunity to play again, and he's had to make rotations. He's had to do substitutions. Not substitutions, sorry, injury crisis. When we lost our midfielder in Gruev and Ampadu, well, he's found 2 diamonds in there. So he's juggled everything amazingly well.
It's nice hearing from Brendan Aaronson, actually. He's in the programme this week, a Q&A, because we see them on the pitch, but we don't always hear about what they're up to in their home lives. But he's doing a bit of Lego at home, playing some Call of Duty, and he's just bought himself a new coffee machine. So he's been training himself as a barista at home.
There you go.
But on him, that game against Middlesbrough in particular, who of course were a team that came out to play football against us, which has kind of suited him, didn't he? He found those pockets, exploited those areas in that number 10 role, which was really creative, one of his best games.
Yeah, and the way that he loved, like I say, when I used to play against teams that went into a back 4 with a midfield 4 and they were tight and narrow, there's not a lot of space in between the gaps. When you're playing a team that goes expansive, the pockets of space become a lot easier for you to find, and that's why players like myself and Aaronson, when you drop into from the number 10, the 9 and the 10 positions, you used to love playing teams because there's a lot more space. When you're playing against the teams that sit back, there's no space in behind them because they're on the edge of their own box. So it's a lot harder to get in games, and you've got to rely on the width players then. So I think today he'll want to get on the ball. It's going to be a lot tougher for him. But if he gets in the penalty area from whip crosses in from our full-backs or wingers, he could get some joy today.
OK, well, let's hear from the Leeds United manager, Daniel Farke, who's been speaking to us ahead of this game. Yes, it is a big one. Yes, Leeds are favourites, but he says we must be wary given Oxford have had a managerial change this week.
More or less in the spirit after the last international break in November till the international break in March, the table is made. It's always the same. And obviously the festive period with many games, we have a period of overall 8 games within 29 days is of course crucial and important. And you can't probably pick up each and every point, but we want to pick up as many points as possible. And of course also in our next and last home game of the calendar year, we were pretty good in the last home games, and overall have, especially also in the home games in the whole year, really good record. And of course we also want to finish in style and want to win always valuable and important points. But there's also an opponent who's also desperate in order to win important points for them, and for that we have to be fully prepared. So if I'm honest, I'm not too much in a reflection mode. I'm more like focus. I want to have this next 3 points to stabilize and improve our position further on, and for that we are highly motivated. Obviously, you try to prepare what is coming as it stands. It's more or less a bit the caretaker who will overtake. I'm not sure what will happen over the next 48 hours. You also have to be prepared for a potential new candidate, new manager who comes perhaps in and overtakes. And for that, of course, it makes it a bit more complicated to prepare the lads for it. It's then always the same. You try, obviously, because they can't change or won't change the whole squad. So you try to base a bit on what they have delivered in the last weeks and the last month, because I don't think just because there's a change in the manager position, they will change everything totally, and they are completely different sides. So for that, we prepare the lads more or less based on their last approaches in the games, but also to make them aware that we have to be flexible, because it could be a potential change, whatever, in base formation or in general behavior, whatever they do. So it's a bit more complicated, yes.
Yeah, really big, busy, festive period. Worth bearing in mind as well, the rest of the top 6, there's a few games where they play each other. So points are going to be dropped around here. Leeds have 4 games in this festive period over the next 2 weeks. What's a good return, Bridgie, in those 4 games?
The 4 games, what you're looking at, two home wins. That's just 6 points. And I'll take, you want to hopefully win one of them 2 away games. So there's your 9. And I'd take a draw. So I'm being a little bit greedy here. I'm saying 10 would be, 12 is obviously a max. I'd take 10, but I'd, 2 wins. 3 wins? Yeah, 3 wins. Give us 9 points out of 12.
It's a shame that they're on the pitch of the player there, because watching your face as you were doing the maths was brilliant.
Yeah.
If you can't be greedy around Christmas time, there's no time when you can. And just very quickly, from a point of view, from the players' point of view, everyone's out celebrating as we do, but the players, it's head down for the players. Yeah,
do you know what it is? I used to always look at the fixture list when I was a player to see who we had on Christmas, Boxing Day. Did we have a home fixture? Did we have an away fixture? I used to love it when you got a home fixture, because you knew you'd be with your family on that day. On Christmas Day, you had to really look after yourself. You couldn't overindulge like I'm doing these days. I love it. But you had to be, spot on. But you knew, you train Christmas Day morning, get back with your family in the afternoon, and then the home game. I didn't mind being in the away games at New Year, on New Year's Day, because you were in hotels, there was parties going on. You could just keep yourself in your room, keep yourself, and watch everybody else making a fool of themselves. Christmas Day, obviously, was the one I used to look forward to.
OK, let's go back to 2012. 2012, Sam Byram scored against Oxford. The last time we played Oxford in a competitive game was a League Cup in 2012. Sam Byram scored with an absolute beauty of a chip of a goal. He scored a scissor kick.
He better get another one.
He scored a scissor kick. But that's amazing, just the fact that Sam Byram scored in that goal. That was his first goal for Leeds back in 2012 against today's opponents.
He's gone full circle.
Full circle and back here again. But he's been great, hasn't he?
I was just about to say, Rich, we've got to give him massive credit. Big question marks. Heard a lot of fans, and there was a lot of forums saying about, he's injury prone. He's this. I've been through that myself, and it's nothing worse than having a tag like that, because you've got to feel like you're always getting. You're under pressure, you're getting scrutinised. He's been absolutely magnificent. He gets a bit of stick off the lads for being Daniel Farke's pet, or son as they call him, but he has been absolutely magnificent, whether he's been starting, whether he's been coming on the bench, whether it's been to do with the social media side of things, or the promotional side of that. You see for the players off the field, he's just a general all-round lovely guy that can play football, and he's been magnificent this season for Leeds United. And last, I love him.
Well, the Santa hats are out and ready in the ground. I guess as players, when you walk through that tunnel, it's a special one, the last one before Christmas as well. They'll be wary of that. How's this game going to go, bearing in mind that if Leeds win, you're in this beautiful sleeveless tank top?
I don't mind getting my guns out. I wouldn't mind seeing Daniel Farke's guns in there, because his arms get bigger every week. But you can just tell there by the, look at the wind blowing on the things. On the sprinklers there. I'm saying the wind's going to play an impact in the game, but I'm very confident I'm going to go out and say we're going to win this game 3 or 4-0.
OK, let's hope so. That'll be a good start to this Christmas festive period. Let's head up to the gantry where hopefully there's thermals and maybe a flask of Bovril. It's nippy out there. It's blustery. Your commentary team for today's Leeds United against Oxford is Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo.
Season's greetings, everybody. We round off 2024 as far as home fixtures are concerned with a game against Oxford United. And as the two teams prepare to take their place on the park, there is an expectation around Ellen Road that Leeds could finish this year with something of a flourish against a side that has really struggled on its travels, having got back up to championship level for the first time in a long time. But the championship often throws up unexpected challenges, and the away side could yet provide one of those, particularly, as has just been discussed, because they're coming in with new leadership to this game. Poor recent form cost the previous incumbent his job, and so Gary Rowett was appointed as their new manager yesterday afternoon, although he won't be taking the team today. Craig Short is the man designated with the role of coach. Experienced former pro will be in charge from the dugout. No doubt Gary Rowett watching on. Two sides line up. Leeds United in traditional colours, Oxford also. And there's Ethan Ampadu, who starts for Leeds United for the first time since September and will wear the armband as well, with Pascal Struijk on the bench. As has been discussed, it's very windy, and the game could be impacted by that. Swirling around inside the stadium here, and the corner flags are bending in every which way in the four respective corners, so difficult to judge which way it's going. Leeds United side then shows two changes to the team that began the game against Preston North End. Ampadu back in for that first start since September. Pascal Struijk on the bench, and also into the starting 11. Manu did really well in his appearance time at Preston. Manor Solomon, he replaces Gnonto. A couple of changes to the Oxford side as well, interestingly. Vaulks and Placheta both come in, both experienced international footballers, and also both who will more than likely be expected to do a defensive job here. The two previous attackers, Rodrigues and Scarlett, neither in the starting 11. So the mascots and captains are in the centre circle. Mark Harris, who will be up front for Oxford today, the Welsh international. So plenty of familiarity in terms of international teammates out there, with Ethan Ampadu of Wales in the centre circle standing over the ball. Mark Harris, also of Wales, standing just on the edge of the centre circle. And the game is almost set to start here, with Leeds going into the traditional huddle pre-match. Important game this for Leeds United. That late equaliser at Preston kept them in the promotion places come the end of the weekend, but the gap that was threatening to open up has been closed again. So the pressure remains on those at the top. Sheffield United continuing to lead from the front. And Leeds now have to keep the good run going here this afternoon against Oxford. Just before 3 o'clock UK time. So the referee holds on for a moment until we've ticked round till the designated start time. Many of you joining us from all around the world, I'm sure, for this one. So it could be morning, afternoon or evening, depending on where you're watching this, wherever you are. If you're celebrating, season's greetings to one and all, and let's hope that Leeds give you something to celebrate at the start of this busy festive period. We're almost ready for the off, and there is the signal to get the game going, and Oxford it is who start proceedings. The ball is quickly swung out of play from the foot of the goalkeeper over the touchline down below. Cumming the keeper. Ampadu on the ball for Leeds. That defensive partnership we saw that was so successful for so much of the second half of last season. Ampadu and Rodon. Two players back together in there again this afternoon for the first time this season.
Yes, and I think if there's ever a game to get Ampadu up to scratch, get some minutes in his legs, it's home against Oxford, and at centre-half as well. Pascal Struijk obviously not 100% fit, but good to see Ampadu back.
So Daniel Farke has the chance to rest Struijk perhaps, with a lot of games to come as Leeds break early into the penalty area, and Aaronson tries to stab it goalwards. It's still there for Leeds. Tanaka! Just wide. And that one was inches away from giving Leeds the perfect start And Tanaka, his first goal, just past the post.
Would have been ideal. So many bodies, though, in the way. Players falling in front of him there, but he couldn't hit the target. Just a simple ball initially, wasn't it, from Bogle into the feet of our striker. That's exactly what we're after.
So Daniel Farke, a little look to the heavens there, knowing that that was a really good opportunity inside 60 seconds to get Leeds up and running here. Coming with a goal kick, and again it swings out towards this near side touchline. This time it stays in play. And it's Tanaka at the other end, back to Ampadu, and he puts it in for Meslier. Long clearance from Milan Meslier. Picked up by Rothwell. Wide right side to Bogle. Back it comes to Rodon. Tanaka is turning it wide to Ampadu's caught late there by Harris. Hobbles away from that challenge. Has to recover quickly because he's immediately given the ball back.
Referee saw it, so no doubt another challenge like that from Harris will have him in trouble.
Good crossfield ball. Dan James quickly closed down by Dale and given away. James trying to help it into the penalty area. Couldn't quite get the contact he wanted on it. It's cleared into touch for a Leeds throw in.
What was Owen Dale doing? Everyone could see that James was going to be alive and intercept that one.
He's on the ball now as well. Dan James with the pass into the edge of the penalty area to Tanaka. Now Bogle. Tanaka back to Rodon and Rothwell. Rothwell and Rodon exchange passes. Ampadu waits on the centre spot. Tanaka plays it out to his right to Jayden Bogle. Leeds already beginning to set up camp in the Oxford United half.
Well, I don't think that's a surprise. Their 4-2-3-1 now is a 4-5-1, isn't it? Trying to make sure they pack that midfield.
Here goes James looking to cross into the penalty area. Nice deep ball. Solomon trying to get underneath it. Spins away from him. Cleared away from the edge of the area by Vaulks, another Welsh international. And then a little bit of a hospital ball for Byram. Leeds end up with possession with Bogle. Now James. Helped on again to Bogle. Puts it in first time. Piroe couldn't get on the end of that one. Given away to Tanaka, now James. Plays a wall pass off his opponent. Bogle. Rodon stepped well up. Ampadu in that Oxford half as well. And it goes just ahead of Piroe there.
But that's where we need Piroe. He's got to come to feet and get runners then beyond running off him. Without that first pass, you know, Aaronson then can't make that run, so got to make sure he gets there first and be strong when he gets there.
Ampadu to Rodon. A lot of space in front of Joe Rodon. Plays it down the channel. It's going to be kept in play by Daniel James, but as he wraps his foot round it, he can't get it far enough around it, and it slices out and in and behind for a goal kick.
Well, a few minutes played in this game, and none of it is a surprise, is it? Oxford really just trying to make sure they keep in the game early on. They're not keeping the ball when they get it. Not defending great either, so we just got to keep forcing them into errors, and eventually we will get chances.
Cumming, who will try and work out which way the wind's blowing from this kick out from the penalty area.
We always look at the crisp packets on the pitch, and actually they're going both ways, aren't they?
That's what makes it difficult today, isn't it? Again, it does head in this direction. When I say this direction, towards us as we sit on the gantry underneath the roof of the West Stand. And Joe Rodon with the ball to Ethan Ampadu. Ampadu looks forward and then turns it back. A cardboard box that looks a little bit like a football, or today's ball anyway, because we're using the winter ball today. Confusingly blows in front of the players. and then lies on the pitch. Rothwell back to Ampadu. Tanaka. Rodon. Well, that was tricky because it just blew up in front of him, wasn't it? Rothwell plays it into the gap nicely for James to attack the area. Puts a low cross into the middle. Players arriving. Big shout for a handball in there, as it didn't quite arrive in the path of Manor Solomon and was cleared away.
Oh, it's excellent play. Lovely through ball to James, but got to make the right runs. You can near, far, someone pull out. Unfortunately, on that occasion, didn't quite find the Leeds player.
Rodon, square ball to Rothwell. That's going to be over into the hands of the goalkeeper. I think that one got caught in the wind.
Did, just the wrong shape, and you're right, the wind just got it straight to the keeper. Oxford going to take plenty of time, aren't they?
Gary Rowett appointed yesterday. Very experienced manager at this level. Manager that Leeds have come into contact with previously. How much influence he's been able to have on this team in the 24 hours or so since his appointment, I'm not sure, but the one expectation was he would endeavour through his input to make them more defensively solid today, a team that hasn't won away from home yet on its return to the Championship. Rodon now for Leeds United. James waits wide. Not the best ball to Brendan Aaronson, so James goes in to try and atone, and then suddenly it's Oxford who appear in an attacking move with Placheta on the edge and now into the penalty area. Placheta trying to find room for the shot. Good block made to prevent him troubling Ilan Meslier, and Leeds try a counter-attack now with Piroe keeping it in down that far touchline. In it goes to Solomon, who's ridden a challenge, and Solomon's gone past another, and he's into the penalty area, and Dan James waits, and Dan James slides the ball underneath the goalkeeper. Perfect counter-attack goal from Leeds United. Each played a part. Dan James supplied the finish. Leeds United 1, Oxford United 0.
Oh, it's an excellent finish, it really is. But great work from Manor Solomon on that left-hand side, and that's why teams line up when they come here defensively, not wanting to get too far forward, commit bodies and allow us to have space. They were caught up the pitch, a quick counter-attack, a little bit of fortune with Solomon once or twice there to keep going with the ball, but get in these positions, get your head up. Can you find the pass? Well, he certainly can. Quality. He had a good last 20, didn't he, at Preston North End? He gets his chance, comes up trumps, and Dan James gets another one to his name. Brilliant.
Dan James on target here at Ellen Road again. It was made easy for him by a terrific pass across the penalty area from Manor Solomon. Good start. Something very much for Leeds to build on here. Little nudge from Solomon there, which will result in a free kick. Not much in it against the big fella standing in front of him.
That's embarrassing. Come on. Just touch a little bit.
It's the wind. It was the wind.
Look, it was the wind.
It's a wind-assisted push. Oxford in possession in their own half. Harris on the halfway line. Breaks clear to Dale. There's a bit of space through the midfield for Goodrham. Vaulks wide right to Placheta. He's done well to work the ball infield. And then there's space down the left-hand side for Dale. But the ball is caught in the breeze and off it goes into touch.
See the wind there. Once the ball caught it and just flew out to this left-hand side.
Confirmation, if you can see a screen, that Gary Rowett is in attendance watching the game from the seats in the West Stand.
I mean, you talk about the influence that he's had, you know, since yesterday. I would say none, but the big influence will be that every player out there will want to impress him. They'll want to be in the side, won't they? So, you know, he'll expect plenty of endeavour, plenty of fight, and he'll be watching reactions. That's what he'll be watching. Okay, if they do go 2-3 down, you know, what players can I then rely on? What ones are still there standing up and trying to do the right thing?
James for Leeds United curls a nice looking ball in for the run of Piroe. Didn't quite arrive there. Defender read it and dealt with it. Tanaka steps in to pick up possession. And now Ampadu on the edge of the centre circle. Takes a safe option. Tanaka glides forward, out to James down this right-hand side. Bogle back to Tanaka. James waits again in space and gets the ball again. Again, he tries that little curled pass, doesn't quite work out. Tanaka can't get there either. So now it's Oxford who look to move forward at pace. And Placheta is onside and is into the penalty area and puts his shot over the crossbar. Well, the Leeds players look over to the assistant far side, because from where I'm sitting and from where they're standing, that looked like it was offside.
I thought it was offside. I really did. I think the timing of Ampadu just standing up was just about right, but clearly it was too close for the referee's assistant, and he's through. Placheta makes a right mess of the finish, thankfully.
Well, that was a real chance, and whether it was on or off, Leeds have ultimately got away with one there because the decision was on. So it was all on Placheta to provide the finish. He failed to do that, and Leeds have reason to be grateful. James puts a good-looking ball in, comes out as far as Rothwell, who does shoot and doesn't do a bad job of it either. The half volley from Joe Rothwell just bounces past that far post.
That was unfortunate because he had to wait a long time for the ball to come out with a bit of wind as well. A lovely little flick up. Defender was in the right spot though, difficult to get bend it around him. Bit of a warning sign, that was. I mean, you have to always be mindful of the opposition. Yes, we're one up, but concentration in these sort of games for the defenders and goalkeeper really are key.
And the ball has moved away. Look at that.
Yeah.
Off it goes on its own journey, unaided. Cumming tries his best to place it, and then off it goes again. I think you're just going to have to take a go at this one. And he does, and that's actually his best kick of the afternoon so far. Solomon underneath it, but can't control. Kioso is there. And gets it into the Leeds half. Tanaka, a bit of a mix-up, but Bogle comes in to tidy up. And Meslier with a short pass pushed out to Ethan Ampadu. Across the back to Rodon. Rodon again to Ampadu. Runners set off, then stop. Leeds just controlling possession at the moment. Rothwell to Rodon. James trying the first time ball for the run of Bogle. Cut out. Leeds end up with a throw in. And we're at the quarter-hour mark in this game.
Yes, and all very comfortable apart from one really good chance that they probably should have done better with.
Solomon, nice ball from Ampadu, and he's controlled it really well there, Manor Solomon. This time couldn't work his way between multiple challenges, but Rothwell picks up the loose ball in midfield. Tanaka alongside. Oh, lovely, rolls the ball wide to Byram. His touch is heavy. Again, you would say probably wind assisted. Just rolled away from him.
Yeah, clearly conditions are difficult out there. You've got to concentrate and maybe just look at the ball a bit longer onto your boots.
Kioso, right back, will take the throw in for Oxford. Onto the head of Byram. Back to Kioso. Placheta. The ball touched forward. Great interception from James. Really good. Through the middle as well. Not even his territory, if you like.
No, he's second best there, yet speed gets him back. Such a willingness to defend for the team is brilliant.
Aaronson Can't quite get it to Solomon, but Tanaka waits and picks up and plays it into the path of Dan James. Keeps the ball in play. Looks towards the penalty area for Leeds now. Curls it. Well, was it a shot? Was it a cross? Maybe we'll never know. Whatever, it goes behind for a goal kick.
Well, I think it was a cross, but an excellent cross as well. Solomon just got caught underneath it, but the idea was really good. Just holding his man up, coming inside and just put it into a dangerous area. And Solomon, unfortunately, ended up in the middle of the goal.
So Cumming again has to wrestle with the tricky goal kick situation.
See Daniel Farker there, just wants some intensity as well. Got to keep up the intensity. Oxford want exact opposite. Slow game, stop start. We want to force mistakes out of them.
Well, Leeds started with intensity, didn't they? Brought an early goal. Could have been an even earlier goal, frankly, with the Tanaka shot just wide. Oxford throw in. Leigh will take it. Hurled down the line, flicked by Harris beyond Rodon. Tanaka thinks about going forward and then opts to go back. Rothwell from Ampadu and back again. Ampadu to Rothwell, gets the return ball. Runner goes down the left, but it comes right instead. Ampadu acknowledges the Byram run.
Byram was on, wasn't he? But yeah, Ampadu saw it.
James, 2 in front of him, so he tucks it back to Bogle. Helps it on to Rodon, and then Ampadu in the centre circle. Now Rothwell. Comes into the middle, still going, and still to Bogle. Into the edge of the area to Solomon. Quite sure what Manor Solomon was trying to do there. Whatever it was, it didn't work because it spun up in the air and flew out.
Well, it looked to be a ball for Dan James on the right, but James had stopped, thinking that it wouldn't come to him, but Solomon drifting inside to decent effect, but there's space out there. Just got to use it that much better.
Coming again. Spots it up. And then opts to move it. That's gained by that, I wonder.
A few wasted seconds. That's what.
Well, it does go straight, so maybe it worked a treat. Header on by Byram, just beyond the stretch leg of Piroe. Keeper in action again here. Aaronson closed him down, and Kioso has been caught by Solomon. 2 in the penalty area, 3 now. Solomon trying to get past the figure of Kioso, but ultimately the challenge is made. And Kioso is able to get back on the ball, and Leeds are trying to win it back themselves, and they've got a free kick just inside the touchline. That could have been better from Leeds' perspective.
It could have done. Kioso eventually actually did okay in the box, but I think if I'm Solomon now, I want to take him on at each and every opportunity, back him up into that box, and you can see good things happening for us.
So Leeds have the chance to put this one in to the middle of the penalty area. Depending on wind direction, this one could be tricky if Joe Rothwell tries to swing it on the keeper.
It's one of those you want to put a lot of power on it, but if you get it slightly wrong, it's going to look really silly, isn't it? It's going to go miles long, but let's see.
As the corner flags at that end bend in the direction of the south stand, so the wind appears to be in his favour currently.
Well, if you can, then just try and aim for the keeper's chest and get runners across. It won't stand still, the ball, though, will it? It keeps moving.
You can see how strong the wind is in that direction from the fact that he basically needs to have someone hold the ball down here. I wonder whether Solomon's about to take on that role.
Here we go.
Well, it's stopped moving, so Rothwell can give the signal. And he does curl it in towards, and well, that's exactly what you suggested might happen.
It actually wasn't such a bad ball, but as soon as it gets caught in that wind, just flies on. Unfortunate.
You have the risk. You drop it short, and then it drops very short because the wind's gone, or you go long, and maybe that happens.
Referee has looked at his watch, stopped this. He's going to have a word with Cumming in the goal.
Yeah, the goalkeeper's gone slowly out to retrieve the ball from outside the penalty area, but the referee has intervened. Again, the ball moves. As I was driving in today, I had a suspicion that the wind was going to be a bit of a problem as it buffeted the car from both directions. And that is currently proving to be the case. Up it goes, and where it drops, nobody knows. Out, in this case, is the answer.
All that for that. In the wind as well. I mean, what we were always taught is, don't let it bounce, don't let it drop down. Try and get to the ball before it does, because just with the wind, you're not exactly sure what's going to happen. But also, don't take too many chances at the back. Put it in their half and make them make the mistake. There you can see it again, can't you? It's clearly from that left-hand side. It's strong going that way. The ball's got to start not the 10 yards left to try and just get it onto Byram's foot.
I guess the other option is just to go along the ground, isn't it? Where there's maybe a bit less impact.
It is, yeah, absolutely. But I think still you've got to try and mix it up, don't you? I think that's important. A lot of the time our play is that we keep it and we do take it along the ground, but defending like that I think is always pretty easy when it's in front of you. If I'm not exactly sure what you're going to do, are you going to put it over me, are you going to put it in front of me? That's when you get more joy, I think.
Well, there we go. Another goal kick, another throw in. I couldn't possibly comment on what the Leeds United fans are currently singing.
I no idea. Could be a goalie.
Yeah, not the best, is it, today?
No.
Rodon. In it goes across the body of Aaronson. Made space and time for himself and gives it to Solomon. Solomon helps it on wide to Byram, puts it across, and it's touched away from the near post with Piroe waiting to pounce. Leeds end up with a corner.
And finally we find Aaronson in that sort of area as well, because he is so good at allowing the ball to run across his body and just turn and go the other way. Puts it out to the left-hand side, and then once it got helped on to Byram by Solomon, couldn't quite get it across. It's one of our boys, but very fortunate. Brown there just puts it out for a corner kick.
Oh, while the corner flag is doing its best to attack Joe Rothwell in the corner. In fact, there's a first. He's getting assistance.
He's getting some assistance.
Steward, who's their designated corner flag
He
holder.
better not let it go now.
That would be comedy gold.
Yeah.
James, short ball to Aaronson, who will shoot. But it's high and over the crossbar. Piroe in the midst of that looks across to the assistant to say that he was dragged to the ground.
Well, looks like he was hooked, and you're right, dragged around. Let's have a look. He's trying to get away. And Brannagan is the one that had a handful. That's a dangerous game to play. And I think they're in that sort of situation as well. Aaronson just hit the target, make the keeper do something.
A bit less at that end, perhaps. Second half will be a different challenge, it would appear. The goalkeeper is brave because he's not going short. He's motioning his players away. If they had any sense, they'd all gather in front of the dugouts on this near side. And here it comes. Oh, no. Oh, it didn't. It stayed in. So there you go. Last laugh belongs to Cumming. And now he's coming out with his penalty area. Well, there you go. We got there in the end.
No, this ball is going out. It's going out. I'm going to make sure this time.
Oh my, it's not the ball you want in there if you're Ethan Ampadu, is it? Harris is on his shoulder, and Meslier is probably not entirely thrilled with that back pass either. Wow. Everyone's going a bit crazy here. Rodon trying to restore some sanity with a run forward. It's over hit. And James ain't getting to that, but Leeds do end up off the head of Brown with a throw in, which Bogle wants to take quickly. Back it comes to Tanaka. Try to push it back into the path of Rodon, but it comes out of play for another Leeds throw-in. Identical position. Tanaka off Bogle, back to Bogle. Tanaka's fouled, caught late, and this card will be, because that's not the first time that's happened. And as Tony suggested right at the outset, much earlier in the game, referee had seen it, noted it.
Yeah, that was for a culmination, wasn't it? You're right, because the same foul on Tanaka before. I thought the next one he'll be in trouble, and he was. And what happened to the pass backs just going wide of the goal? What's wrong with that? That was fired back at Meslier.
Not the day for that.
No.
Bogle back to Rothwell. Ampadu on the edge of the centre circle, now a bit beyond to Solomon down the left. Kioso gets the better of him, puts it into touch. Byram waits to take the throw in. 28th minute, Leeds United 1, Oxford United 0. Dan James with the goal. Rothwell on the ball. James in possession now. Comes inside a couple of challenges. Fouled, but the game goes on with Leeds in possession. Push wide for the cross perhaps from Byram. Comes back in for Solomon, helping out.
It's there where I think just a left footer gets out of his feet and then whips it in, and the space is there. And instead we go back the other side. Yes, we're still in possession, but as a striker, I'd find that a little frustrating that I've made my run and it's not coming in.
Tanaka, runs are plenty happening there, but ultimately not quite the ball required. But Leeds are lucky that Tanaka can step in quickly to regain possession.
To calm things down.
Well, he is the culminator
Stop
after
it,
all.
stop it.
Sam Byram back to Tanaka. And now Ampadu and he exchange passes. A bit of pressure applied, so it goes back to Meslier. Oxford now step up the park. Ethan Ampadu in possession for Leeds. Bides his time. Short, square ball to Rodon. Back again to Ampadu. And again, Rodon now steps it up a little. Wide for Bogle, who's in space, just keeps it in. Curls his cross into the middle, it's a good one! And it just goes beyond Aaronson. There's a big shout for a foul there. And Leeds end up only with a corner kick.
Well, I think Brannagan got enough of the ball, but Aaronson got up really quickly. Excellent ball in from Bogle. And Piroe was there. And as we've seen with Aaronson, he never gives up, does he?
So this time, Leeds have a first corner from this near side. Taken short. And now here's James on the left foot. Oh, what a save! Still there for Leeds. Byram can't get on the end of it. Shot goalwards, shot too high. But that was a terrific save, because the keeper will only have seen that Dan James shot at the very last moment, and he got down and pushed it away.
I'm with you. That was a fantastic save, wasn't it? I thought that was going to nestle in the back bottom corner, but when the ball does eventually bounce up, Rodon, brave as you like, always second best, just sticks his head in. And he wasn't going to win that one, was he? He was going to get injured, and that's what he's done. But good save from the keeper, because it bounced just before him as well, so I guess a good, strong hand to it.
Treatment required by Joe Rodon. Leeds players have come to the touchline, most of them anyway, as the rain comes down here now as well, so it's swirling around visibly now inside the stadium. And those who aren't covered by a roof, predominantly behind the Oxford goal, are really getting a bit of a soaking now.
They are. We're actually tucked away quite nicely, aren't we, up at the back of the stand. Of that, I'm quite happy. But yeah, the south stand is certainly getting it. But I'm looking at the other end as well, and the rubbish there isn't really going the same way either. So Not sure where the wind's going to be in the second half, but I always found it a little bit easier playing into the wind rather than with it. But here's the goal again. It's such an excellent ball, isn't it? Just asking to be tucked away at the bat stick.
And James gets to celebrate again here in front of the Leeds United supporters. He's still his international teammate, Joe Rodon, is requiring treatment, but steps away from the medical staff with a relatively jaunty step and then jogs towards the touchline, where he'll have to linger a little while until the referee tells him he can come back on.
Meslier's just tried to get the balloon and the wind has just taken it away from him.
The balloon is going to become a character in this game, potentially all of its own, because now Tanaka has also failed to burst the balloon, and still it blows around on the pitch. And then the ball comes out for Leeds United
No
throw-in.
way! I've not seen that before. I'm thinking Cumming hasn't quite worked that one out.
Maybe he has.
Maybe he has, you're right.
It's a tactic.
Ah, okay.
Rodon not yet back on. Bogle puts it up for Piroe to chase. Centre half gets across in front of him. Oof, and then it's pinged back into the edge of his own area, and Cumming puts it out to the other touchline, and then strange bounce there. Picks it up and puts it straight up in the air. Ampadu does well. Gives it away though to Moore, the skipper. And then...
Well, the conditions look horrendous, don't they? They're simply the ball's doing all sorts of funny things.
So Leeds try the long throw, and it comes into the path of Piroe, and now Aaronson, and played in just ahead of Solomon. Keeps it in. Just a turn away to try and find room for a cross perhaps, or a pass. Plays it into Byram. Helps it on to Rothwell. Right side to Bogle. Bogle back into Dan James. There's plenty in the middle. James goes low. It's got no power in that one. I think it took a deflection on its way as well. Easy pick up for the goalkeeper.
It was going for that left foot. Swinger again. Brannagan with the block.
So the goalkeeper rolling the ball out. Gets it back again. Then a pass out the penalty area to Brown. Forward for Harris. Well won back by Rodon. Now James. Dan James. Aaronson again does really well. Brings it out of his body. Now Piroe turns. Still going Piroe. Tries to get his shot away. Another good save from the keeper. Just trying to put that one inside the post. The keeper got across and got an arm to it and kept it out.
Excellent play again.
Leeds try and get going once more, having won the ball back in the Oxford half. Rothwell to Bogle. Back inside to Tanaka. Short ball to Aaronson. To James. Dan James holds it up. Comes back to Tanaka. Across the midfield to Ampadu. Back to Tanaka again. Now James down the right for Leeds United. Comes inside his man. Curls across into the penalty area. Cleared away. Just outside it. Rothwell's battling there, but can't quite get to it. And Ethan Ampadu is the last man back for Leeds, who picks the possession up again. Gives it quickly to Tanaka. 10 minutes of the first half remaining. Still Leeds 1, Oxford 0. Now Bogle. And Aaronson caught later. Another daft challenge there, really, because the pass had long gone and Brannagan went through Aaronson.
Next one for him. He'll be in the book as well. Oxford, really, they're just waiting there for the second goal to go in. We just got to see if we can certainly get it before half-time.
Tanaka to Rothwell. Turns round, gives it to Rodon. To the lines to Aaronson. Now wide left side to Byram, who's in the penalty area. Tried to come back to Aaronson, but when he cut it back, it was intercepted and cleared. So Leeds are starting again from inside their own half here. Ampadu and Tanaka. There's a run from Byram again, and it's gone beyond Kioso, and Byram's got in. He's into the penalty area. Kioso's leaning into his back, gives it back to Solomon. Solomon plays it back to Tanaka. Tanaka will shoot, just wide. Goalkeeper, I think, was confident that one was going beyond the post. It goes out for a goal kick.
Well, Kioso, what was he doing? Just getting all mixed up. Should have kept an eye on the ball. He could have intercepted it. Instead, he didn't. Eventually, it comes out to Tanaka. Good to see him trying to have a go, at least.
Well, he's finding plenty of space just outside that Oxford United penalty area. So I guess with the wind behind you, why not? As close as he's come to a goal with that shot inside the opening 60 seconds.
Where's this one going, Bryn?
Well, if I was to lay money on it, and obviously I couldn't, it would be for a throw-in, but there are currently 2 balls on the pitch. The goalkeeper's having enough trouble with one. He doesn't need a second one at the moment. So yeah, it's that goal kick thing again. This one stays true down the middle. Picked up by Ampadu from Tanaka. Sets off on a run. Plays a ball out wide, and Solomon will sprint to try and get ahead of Kioso. Kioso stretches a long leg and just hooks it into touch for a Leeds throw-in.
Really good play from Ampadu. Nice and positive. Space is there if you play quickly. Kioso actually that time does well.
Byram back to Ampadu with the throw-in. Rodon waits in the centre circle. Now Tanaka in possession. On it goes to Solomon. Holds it up near the corner flag. Looks towards the penalty area. One in front of him. Cleared away from the toes of Solomon by Placheta. As it's clipped forward, Ampadu wins the header. Down to Placheta once more. Ball goes out of play. Aaronson tries to keep it in, and it's an Oxford throw-in. So he wasn't successful in that.
Certainly we look good, haven't we, when we get the ball out to the wings quickly and we have space, whether it's James or Solomon. And just a couple of times with Aaronson as well, getting it into his feet, 10 yards outside the 18-yard line, allowing him to turn. Need to just try and find him or Piroe to his feet a little bit more.
Byram wins the header from the throw, but it comes back for Kioso to loop it forward over Ampadu. Rodon waits behind. Ampadu puts it up in the air. Byram flicks it on. Goes in to try and win it back again, as does Solomon. And Byram once more. It's played forward, though, to Harris of Oxford, who has runners inside. And then steps into a challenge from Tanaka, who rolls it away from Harris, who just leaves a foot in on him. Remember, he's been yellow carded.
Yeah, he has to be careful. Clever play, Tanaka again.
Leeds get it going quickly as we move into the final 5 minutes of the half. Bogle has room down the right. Infield it goes to Rodon. On again to Bogle. Tried to play it back. It's not quite breaking as it comes out the penalty area for a Leeds player. It just goes over the top and the halfway line where Byram's got a chase because Placheta was on his shoulder. Had to try and read where the ball was going to move to.
Just
then.
Awful, wasn't it? It looked like it was going to be long, then it was going to be short, then it just when it hits the deck, always comes back to him, and he does the right thing, just get it out.
If in doubt, head it out, which is exactly what he did. So Kioso comes forward to take this Oxford United throw in their own half. The ball is rolled back towards the goalkeeper, and then Cumming with a crossfield ball. It doesn't travel very far, but does travel to a teammate. Now Dale. Brannagan. And then put up in the air. It'll stay in. Bogle wins the header for Leeds, but his header does go out. Daniel Farker appears at the edge of the technical area. As the ball is thrown beyond a couple of Leeds players, and Meslier's going to have to come out and deal with this, which he does. Suddenly popped up into the path of Owen Dale there, despite the presence of 2 or 3 white shirts. It had to be dealt with.
It did. A soft challenges, wasn't it? And the Oxford player managed to squeeze through.
Kioso down the right for Oxford, helps it on to Placheta. Ampadu thought he'd won the challenge and the throw-in, but he did the former, not the latter. Oxford in possession on the edge of the centre circle. Brown. Vaulks on the ball. Back to the skipper and then back to the goalkeeper who's let it run across his body. And giving himself a moment of panic there before rectifying the situation. Leeds trying to win the ball back as it flies around in the Oxford half. Unsuccessful in that. It's played to Placheta, chests it down. And Goodrham in possession for Oxford. Now Kioso on the halfway line. Back in it comes to the central defender Moore. And then held on the halfway line. Tanaka can't get it back for Leeds. Oxford have possession still. Misplaced ball, so they've got to go back and retrieve it. Brown does that job. And then they put it straight into touch. A lot of effort, not a lot of outcome there.
Well, that's the same outcome as you keep kicking it out. That's the problem, but I don't mind that. Giving Oxford a bit of possession, get them moved further up the pitch. And then, of course, we can try and nick it and have a lot more space to then go and play in. Whereas here now, they're just set, aren't they? Just taking our time, moving it left to right, and see if we can force an overlap somewhere. A good ball into someone's feet.
Rodon does that with James. Gets it back to Rodon. And Ampadu on to Tanaka. And he looks forward. All the space is occupied, so he comes to Rodon square. Now James tries to put it up over the top for a run of Bogle. Unsuccessful in his attempt. And can't win it back for Leeds either. Piroe chases just in case, but Oxford with Brown should clear. And then challenge from Aaronson is fair and clean, and then the challenge on Bogle is not. That would be a Leeds free kick, pushing the back.
Yeah, Leigh, the left back, Oxford just a little too eager to get to the ball.
Quickly, bench may just change the thinking here. Let him out. No, it doesn't. Rodon from Ampadu gives it back to Rothwell. Rothwell weighing up his options, goes short to Aaronson. And now Ampadu as we move into the final minute of the half. I don't think there'll be much added on here. Maybe that short break for their Rodon injury, couple of minutes. Tanaka to James. Held off the ball successfully by Dale. And given away to Tanaka. Just for a second, it looked like it might open up a little for Leeds. There's Ampadu goes straight down the middle. Has to come in and win a header, and it breaks kindly for Mana Solomon, who'd love to get it into a bit of space, instead of which he's got to come back into his own half. And then Byram's given Rothwell a almost impossible task, but he's up to it. And then Bogle is caught again. And Dale is the culprit on this occasion, and he's left his man in a heap.
He has. That was certainly a foul. 3 extra minutes. And Dale straight through the back of Bogle, who's had 1 or 2 clips from behind in this game.
Rothwell did an excellent job of dealing with a tricky pass. 3 added minutes. And we're into that period now. Rodon to Tanaka. Back to Rodon again. To his left to Ampadu. Infield to Tanaka. Pushed to his right to Rothwell. Space for James. Closed down. Trying to get his cross in from the byline, but the angle was too fine. It came off the outside of the boot, I think, and went behind for a goal kick.
Yes, not Dan James's finest cross, but the Oxford player seems troubled. He's up and limping away. And at 1-0, the game's not won, is it? Simple as that. There's still plenty to go in this game. Need another 1 or 2 goals for for short to be comfortable, because we've already had one wake-up call. We don't want any more.
So Cummings' goal kick to keep everybody entertained. Keeps this one in play. And then Kioso down the right for Oxford to Placheta. Given away. Good work, but then given away also by Aaronson. So Byram wins it back. Oh no, committed a foul, it would appear. And so there's a bit of defending for Leeds United to do all of a sudden.
And this is a sort of situation Oxford will have played for. Set pieces, take their time, put the big guys up from the back and try and get a delivery into our box. So we have to be concentrated and brave. Win the first header if we can.
The Leeds have 2 in the wall. And brought a little bit further back now, just outside the penalty area. Dale, one of 2 Oxford players standing over it. And Goodrham is the other. Wind blowing in their face, I think, currently. Dale leaves it. Goodrham puts it in, heads up and away. Solomon can't complete the job from the edge of the area, though. Oxford have it back. Try and cross. Good, important block perhaps made there to get that one out to play. Certainly to stop it coming into the penalty area, because we are seconds away from the conclusion here now. Vaulks has got a long throw on him. I've seen this one before, so he's going to hurl it into the box. Referee allows the game to continue, as in it comes. Meslier with a punch, looping goalwards, looping just over the crossbar. And with the last action of the first half, Oxford United cause a little moment of panic in that Leeds penalty area. Leeds get away with it, and as they head towards the tunnel, just the 1 goal to show for all the domination. Dan James, the scorer for Leeds United, 1, Oxford 0.
Yes, and really, mostly we were very comfortable in that first half, but at 1-0, it never is that comfortable, and they had a chance, really should have equalised earlier in the game. And there, just Meslier knocking it down into a bad area as well, and they headed it over the bar. So still a couple of warning signs. The game is far from won, but just got to try and find that second goal. Conditions look difficult, but we're on top at the moment, but still with work to do.
There you go, work to still be done here. Leeds United have got halfway there, but haven't completed the job yet. Leeds United 1, Oxford United 0.
Smiley? Yeah, probably right. Oh, milky. Yeah, colourful. Oh, thank you, mate. I'll open it and I'll bring that thing. Great, thanks, hon.
Mate, you've done a lot for me. You've done a lot for me, and I appreciate you. Thanks, mate. Thanks, man. Can I ask you up in it? Of course. Do you want to help me? No. Come on, this for you, mate. Oh, trust me. Oh my God, it's nice, isn't it? Oh, mate. This actually, mate. Yeah. That's right, funny. This is serious. It's risky, too. Byram, this is your normal gears.
Nah, chill, it's all. Well, don't look at me, just come. 2, 1, go. Yes. I was controlling the ball anyway. It's not a win. So come, one more time. I can't beat them. I can't lose on time. I can't lose on back and forth. Go. It's true. Oh, yes. Dumb. I won. You see, it's rigged. It's rigged.
Well, the game's really heating up now. Keeping that energy flowing. Talk about control. Constant, steady performance, no matter the weather. Lovely charge forward there. That was smart play.
Something magical is living in my house. If I spill or make a mess, the next moment it's magically gone. I never see them, but they get everywhere. Is it fairies or mini little people? Is it you? Everything is so sparkly, sparkly. Mummy says try not to make too much mess, so we don't scare them away.
No magic, no spells, just astonish.
Escape to a land where it's no work and all play. There's no such thing as speed limits. Where wild animals roam. And around every corner is a new adventure. Where you live amongst nature and giant rabbits come and say hello. Escape to Flamingo Land. Book your day pass online at flamingoland.co.uk.
Oh, new TV?
Yeah, it's the new Hisense Mini LED.
Should have asked me what to get. We've got a 65-inch with Mini LED, but you've got to be paying at least $2,000 for that.
Actually, this one has all those features and more, and we didn't pay anything like that. Looks great, doesn't it?
Okay, half-time here at Ellen Road. It's a blustery Beeston. Leeds 1 goal to the good. If the crisp packets were flying around the first half, I dread to think what it's going to be like after the half-time break and everyone's gone for a little snack. I mean, it's difficult out there, isn't it? But Leeds, like I say, 1 to the good, so going with the advantage at half-time.
A good performance. It was, it was controlled considering the wind. I think I alluded before, kick-off, Tony said Leeds have got to be brave to get the ball on the floor and play. And they were, and they controlled the game. I think Oxford had maybe one opportunity that was close, if not two, in that half football. The rest of it was just control. But at 1 goal, you're still very, very vulnerable going into that. It's nice to be up, but you still need that 2-goal cushion, and there's plenty of chances where we could have been. So all in all, Rich, I think that was a really, really good first half performance considering the wind aspect and what was going on.
Yeah, plenty to build on for the second half. Let's take a look at the goal that separates the teams at the moment, and it was a great move from Leeds United. The two wingers combining absolutely brilliantly. Bridgie, talk us through this. Dan James getting another.
Yeah, I mean, it was Dan James's goal, but all the credit has got to go to Solomon. We talked about him before kick-off. He's coming for Willie Gnonto. You know, Daniel Farke doesn't mind rotating and changing. I mean, the smile on Dan's face says it all, but the point, he points straight at the man, Solomon, because he could have gone down with the challenge when it was played through. You know, a lot of players might have milked that challenge, but Solomon knew that he was in on goal here, and there's a lovely bit of footage when you'll see in the replay where all good players do. There's the little glance. So he recognises the moment of when to pass. A lot of players, I call them blinker players. They keep their head down. They don't look and see what's around them. Whereas that there from Solomon, that is like top class to be able to set your 4-winger up. There, it's that one there, and he knows. And you've still got to execute the pass. And DJ will be loving it. If he could score goals like that every week, he would be so, so happy. And that set the tone. And I'm thinking at this moment, we scored an early goal. It was just going to be, you know, like we could have got a hatful, but the goalkeeper of Oxford made several very, very good saves.
Yeah, Dan James has been on some form this season, and you know, Daniel Farke has this luxury of whoever he seems to bring in those wide areas, they come in and they deliver, don't they?
I mean, it's a manager's dream when you have that, because you're keeping the competitiveness going, but also you're putting faith in the players to do the job as effectively, if not better, than the player you're taking out, to keep everybody on their toes, and that's exactly what Solomon's done. He's repaid the manager for picking him.
If Daniel Farke probably has one frustration with that first half, like you're saying, it's the inability for Leeds to get a second goal to build on that and put some real daylight between the two teams. There have been plenty of chances, some half chances, some better. The goal has made some good saves. Let's take a look at some of the action, because Leeds have very much been on top for the vast part of the majority, and the chances they've come out there. They've been opportunities.
Well, Arvin, like I say, we're going to see a load of chances here, all kinds of different chances as well. Shots from the edge of the area like Tanaka here, shots from inside the area, crosses into the box that have been causing trouble due to the wind. But the quality thing is, Rich, that we are the amount of chances that we are going to show, which for a coaching staff, you be absolutely delighted that the players have taken the initiative. Now, Rothwell here, that would have been a worldie goal, you know, teeing himself up for a shot. That's the technique that he has. But again, with the staff and the players will not be happy, as the fans won't be, until we see that second goal go in, because there's a couple of very, very good chances. This one here, you know, a little bit help from the post, but who's getting in that opportunity there? That's our left back there, Sam Byram. So the style of play is there. It's really affecting Oxford, because they're sitting so deep. They can't get out, and every opportunity is just coming back for, I call it waves of attack. It's almost like a training match. You know, can you defend the opportunities here? And Joe Rodon, thankfully, that wasn't too bad, because that was a brave header.
That Dan James shot, that's a really good save, isn't it? From where it bounces here.
It's a goalkeeper's nightmare, because it's low, the wind's affecting it, and he's got to actually affect the ball, and he puts it back into a dangerous area, and Oxford defend it well, but a very good save. And a man, you know, I like this guy, Joel Piroe. I think he's the best finisher in the club, and I'm thinking, as he had that ball there at his feet, I was asking him, can you set somebody else up? But he managed to find space, and I think that's a really good save, because that came through a number of bodies.
Tanaka, for a lot of time this season, hasn't taken these opportunities from the edge of the box, in terms of hasn't taken the shot on. Today, whether he's had a message from Daniel Farke who says, you know, maybe if you're in that opportunity, take the shot. He's certainly, when he's been in those opportunities, those areas, he's thought, I'm going to have a pop here.
He's recognised when that normally you would see him play them passes out wide or give it to somebody else. So it's good to see. So obviously the boss has said something to him or the staff, and I'm hoping he takes the same attitude second half, but we see one hit the back of the net.
Yeah, if Tanaka scores here, I mean, he set up that goal brilliantly for Brendan Aaronson in the game against Middlesbrough, the third one. If he scores, this place is going to have total lift-off. Now, you did say 1-0 is, without being cliched, it is a dangerous scoreline, because you're not home and hosed. There have been, albeit not many, but there have been opportunities for Oxford. And this is the point, at 1-0, there are always going to be chances where, you know, one goal and it's suddenly out of your hands. Couple of chances for Oxford, starting with Placheta when he got that break, which we thought maybe was offside, but little warning shots here.
Yeah, big warning shot. When you get countered at the other end of the field, you'll see here, I mean, it's a lovely run to stay onside. I'm still saying he may be a yard offside, but it wasn't given. You've got to get on with it. You can see the defenders there. asking the question, that's a big miss, because what I'll be saying to Oxford, I'm the manager at half-time, or the coach that's involved there, Craig Short, we are not going to get many chances, so we have got to take them. So that, that was a huge opportunity that they've missed here, and the danger as well from set plays. That long throw there, that caused problems for Meslier, pushing it and punching it into the wrong area of the field. So professional football, they might have come with nothing to offer in that first half. The 2 chances, they've got a game plan. At 1-0, they're still in this game. At 2-0, the game's dead and buried. So that's the big question mark. Can we get a second goal?
Bridgie, how hard is it playing in conditions like these? I mean, we saw at one point, we've seen all sorts of stuff. Joe Rothwell wasn't able to take a free kick because the ball was moving. Coming in their goal, he's had an interesting half. He's made a couple of good saves, but pretty much every time he's played it down the left-hand side, the ball's gone out of play. The crowd are sort of having a laugh and a joke at his expense at that. We've seen other bits, Manor Solomon dribbling with it, where in between his touches, you can see the ball deviating. How difficult is it to play in conditions like that?
Give me sun, rain, snow any day of the week. Give me wind. It's one thing as a player, I hated, because it just disrupts absolutely everything you're about in your game style. It affects the ball. Even when you're dribbling with it, we saw Solomon there, dribbling with the ball on the far side, and the ball was moving as he's dribbling. That's how windy it is on one side of the field. So the wind is the worst aspect of the weather that affects football. I hated it.
Now, the most important thing to remind ourselves is that if Leeds win today, you'll be wearing this festive tank top.
Well, I'm going to be wearing it.
That was agreed. Feeling confident with that?
I am, because we're going to win.
We can see the Oxford players making their way out. Looks like potentially might be some changes for Oxford. Of course, their new manager is in the stands watching. Main message from Daniel Farker for the Leeds players coming out here?
Stay switched on defensively. Do not concede a goal. We win the game, but plenty more of the same with the chances created. Make sure you're hitting the back of the net, lads. Let's not make it a pressure cooker situation, please. Second half, get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. First of 4 festive fixtures on the way. Worth noting, Sheffield United are drawing at half-time away at Cardiff. So as things stand, things are going the way of Leeds United, but a big 45 minutes to come. So let's head over to our commentary team for the second half in just a moment. Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks, Bridgie. And you've had the opportunity to run the rule over some of the big moments in the first half. Leeds have it all on now to make sure they create a few big moments in this second half, which is sometimes proved a bit more difficult than you might anticipate. So Leeds will want to get amongst it right from the off here. The big question we've just been chatting about before we came back on was how much of an impact the wind will play in terms of Leeds now. Well, on the face of it, playing into it, we think. Although, as I look, the corner flag in the far corner in front of the cop bends towards the cop.
It goes the other way. It just does not make sense. But what was clear is that the wind certainly was strong, wasn't it, when we were attacking? I think that's difficult. But looking at this end, it looks kind of the same. But whatever it is, we're going to get the ball under control and start making sure we dominate this game, which we have been so far, but it's the scoreline that matters.
Blue Monday, still on the PA. Now fades away and we have the start of the second half. And Leeds quickly in possession. Piroe, Aaronson couldn't control. Gets another chance though. Piroe puts his ball over the top. It's too far ahead of Dan James. Leeds are going to have to calibrate or recalibrate quickly here in terms of the way they play the passes. Cumming dropped the ball to the floor. James loses out. Tanaka wins back. Nice. Not quite what Bogle wanted in terms of his forward run. Rothwell handball against Joe Rothwell. Not an awful lot he could do about that, I don't think.
Unfortunate, just bounced up off the deck and hit his arm, but still, the boys look like they're working out the conditions, aren't they?
Placheta is on the move forward for Oxford. Back and forth he goes. Now he sets off on a positive run.
Got to get closer to him. Allow him a yard or two.
Again, he's in possession. Dances through a couple of challenges and he's fouled. So a foot left in there that gives Oxford the chance to measure up a free kick into the Leeds penalty area.
Exactly what they are playing for. Solomon really was a poor challenge.
So for the first time this afternoon we hear the voices of the away fans down below. This could be an in-swinger. If it is an in-swinger, then Meslier has the same tricky challenge potentially that the Oxford keeper had in the first half, making the judgment. At the moment, the man entrusted with the free kick is going to be Goodrham. Signals given. Curled into the middle. Not a bad header from the near post by Brown either. He got in ahead of his marker and couldn't keep it under the bar, or Leeds were in trouble.
Well, another warning sign. And fortunately, Brown just got too much on the ball, trying to do too much with it. Excellent ball in between defenders.
So the first chance of the second half is created by the away side. Rodon for Leeds. Now Rothwell. Space down the left for Byram, but Rothwell goes the other way instead. Still on for Byram, and still. And still. And still.
He's got it.
Finally gets it. Tanaka puts it through for Solomon. Initially looked like he controlled that one well, but the defender Moore got across and cleared it into touch.
Well, just with the power of the pass, it was bouncing. It wasn't a bit of a bouncing bomb to Solomon. It was really difficult to get it under control instantly. Didn't quite manage it.
Ampadu to Rothwell. Into the centre circle to Tanaka. Puts it up over the top. Where's this one going to end up? Well, that's what happens, isn't it? I guess there was plenty of examples of that in the first period. If it's coming this way, it's as if there's a slope in the pitch. It's got to be less on it. Byram wins the header. Appeals for handball, nothing given. Leeds are now defending with Rodon once. Like a push in the back as well. Byram tucks it in field to Tanaka and back to Ampadu. Now Rodon. Some fans raise their voices. Piroe through the middle. First time in the game he's had ball in that sort of position. Onside Byram puts a first-time ball just ahead of Dan James. Looked like a potential little nudge in the back of the Leeds man there as he went for that one. And nothing doing as far as the referee is concerned.
I like the way we moved it really quickly and trying to get it across the goal. We're only talking inches away from Dan James sliding in for a second.
Similar position to where he got the first. So Cumming will be hoping for better fortune with these goal kicks in the second half. Sends his defenders and midfielders up the pitch, expecting this one to travel. And oh no! I think he's playing with us now. Out it goes.
He's very good at it. I'll give him that.
He's very good at it. So Leeds with the ball. Ampadu invited to run forward. Nobody's coming in to close him down. Byram's not going to get to that one, and it comes off Sam Byram. A little unfortunate there. And the defensive challenge from Kioso. So he it is who will take the throw in for Oxford. First time these two sides have met in the league for a long, long time. It was the 89-90 season. Since they met as league equals. Since then there have been cup meetings. Oxford have had a 20-year absence from the Championship anyway. Kioso with a short throw. Byram just puts it up in the air. It's going to go back out of play again. And in all truthfulness, the start of the second half has been a bit of a mess.
Scrappy, to say the least. Yes, conditions really aren't helping.
Out it goes once more. Kioso stretches his back. On it goes to Placheta. Over his shoulder. And again. Played through for Placheta. Well blocked off by Ampadu. Piroe nods it down for Tanaka. Tried to go long. And then Harris through the middle to Placheta. Still Oxford in possession. There's a foul then given for a challenge quite a while ago on Placheta. And so the advantage was played out for several seconds. And when it wasn't, and finally the free kick was awarded.
But they still had the ball. That's the strange thing here. You see, they kept it and going over the left-hand side. But Oxford clearly would rather have a free kick here. They're going to be swinging it into the box again.
Goodrham looking like he's going to take it. He is.
And Brown got in between Rothwell and Piroe.
Curled in again from Goodrham to the far post this time. Still in play. Still in the middle before Meslier catches comfortably. He's allowed to travel all the way to the far side of the Leeds goal there. Leeds now trying to move forward in the other direction.
Well, that wasn't comfortable at all, was it? No one really took control of that free kick, and it was bouncing in our box. It's just a warning sign to say that we've got to be really concentrated at both ends of the pitch, but I wanted up at this end. We're not really putting Cumming under enough pressure.
I think that anxiety of the home crowd is reflected in the chorus of Marching On Together as Leeds lose it on the halfway line. And then Placheta finds himself in space on the edge of the area. Good interception by Tanaka. Ampadu now. This is where Leeds want to try and get a bit of momentum and motion going forwards, with Oxford having put a few players up the park. Now Solomon. Urge to keep things moving. Tanaka. Piroe. Oxford are safely back in their shape now. Rodon. Wide right side for James. Comes in far inside. Still going down James. Just about keeps control of that one. Tanaka to Byram. Nice ball towards Piroe. Really well hooked away just before it got to the Leeds man. Tanaka picks up the clearance. Byram on the ball again here. On it goes to Solomon. Back to Byram. Aaronson to Tanaka. Rodon. Tanaka comes back to collect. Rothwell for Leeds United. Back to Tanaka. Helped on for Solomon. Skips inside a couple of challenges. Played in. Solomon's in the penalty area. Oh, what did he take the touch for? It was brilliant play up until that point. And Mana Solomon, well, maybe has a little regret there as to the outcome with that one.
Well, certainly it's a great 1-2, isn't it, with Byram, and now just get it across instead. With the right foot he goes for an extra touch, which didn't need to. Space had disappeared as well. He needed to get it across earlier, but really good run.
So it's an Oxford goal kick now. They're trying a variation here, which doesn't involve Cumming kicking it straight into touch.
Well, not straight away anyway.
This time they've gone short, and it's gone back to the keeper from Vaulks. And actually, it had worked out quite well until they gave the ball straight to Joe Rothwell. Tanaka. Rothwell from Ampadu and back again. And Rothwell again does that thing, just stepping up the pace a little here.
Yeah, inject some pace, emergency into the plate.
Long ball, drifted wide. James drops off the shoulder of the fullback. Played into Bogle, lovely ball. It's in for Aaronson, cut back for Bogle. Bogle goalwards! What a finish from Jaden Bogle! Wriggles through the crowd of players and tucks the ball into the far corner of the net. Lovely approach play, fine finish for Leeds United 2, Oxford United 0.
Oh, excellent play, wasn't it, from Jaden Bogle? Wonderful 1-2 as well. In the box, Aaronson involved. Exactly what was required in this second half. That second goal, just to relieve the slight anxiety around the place, but we've certainly been on top, and this time we find a way through. Excellent from Dan James to Bogle. This is an excellent ball back in it from Aaronson. The touch is good. He's allowed 2 or 3 touches, and how often do we see through the defender's legs, past the keeper and into that bottom corner. Continues his run, an excellent goal.
Yeah, that's a really good goal, isn't it? Crafted goal, that one. And Aaronson didn't look, put it into an area, and his instinct was absolutely right. Bogle was there, he needed the rest. So Leeds have a proper platform in this game now. Rodon with a header. Ball nodded into touch. So Leeds throw in.
Right, Bryn, I feel a little comfier now. What about you?
A little. It never goes away though, does it?
True, half hour to go, so still plenty to go at, but this is better, getting that second goal. Oxford still don't look like they're going to gamble. Still look like they're going to put plenty of men behind the ball. We just need to keep control. I know Daniel Farker talks about that a lot, and it's these sort of situations, 2-0 up. We shouldn't be dropping any points here.
Rothwell to Rodon. Still Joe Rodon into Piroe. Does well, can't find a teammate, but it arrives at the feet of James anyway. First time ball from him is a nice one.
It's Good a great idea. One. Oh, it's a great one.
And then it's won back by Byram. Curls it back into the middle, cleared away by Moore. Tanaka can start again for Leeds with a pass into Ampadu. He gets the return ball from the captain. Aaronson into Rothwell. Wide he goes, James. Puts it into the middle. Bogle was waiting. Defensive clearance, takes the ball behind for a Leeds corner.
Well, we're pressing now. Oxford, I just wonder, has the belief finally been knocked out of them? They're certainly sitting back. If we could get a third, that would be the killer blow.
Changes a foot here for the away side. They do have a couple of attacking options on the bench. The 2 men who dropped out. As changes were wrong ahead of this game. Rothwell cuts the ball back, clever, to James. He curls it and it's looped out as far as Ampadu to take under control and give back to Aaronson. They're waiting if they want to put it back in there. He does, it's cleared as far as Dan James. James to Aaronson. Aaronson goes into clear green space to keep possession. Now Rothwell, options wide, Solomon operating down that right side. Into the penalty area. Cross is blocked. Leeds have another corner. They're going to take it quickly as well. Rothwell to the edge of the area to Bogle. Bogle to keep possession goes back to Ampadu. Ampadu just keeps it away from Placheta. Then Rothwell trying to put it down the channel for Solomon. Comes out for James instead. Dan James back for Rothwell. There's only one in the middle, so he holds up. Tanaka. Rodon to Bogle to Tanaka. James, oh, it's gone inside to Solomon instead. 2 wingers operating down the same wing there. As the ball goes into Bogle again. And Bogle tries to get it across the middle. And he's just put a little bit too much on that one. He's making well-timed runs into the penalty area, Jayden Bogle. And it's an extra body that Oxford are struggling to deal with. So it's going to be an attacking change for the away side now, with Rodrigues coming on. Ruben Rodrigues will come on to replace the midfielder, Owen Dale. Rodrigues, former Notts County man. Did well for Notts County in the National League. Dale departs. Rodrigues arrives. Oxford have a throw in. Byram wins the header. Vaulks puts it up in the air. Bogle's missed it. Wins a second ball. Oxford pick up and have it in the Leeds half. Drop of the shoulder from Leigh. Comes back into Moore. And then Kioso happy just to direct it back to the keeper. Piroe chases. Brown will get it away, but actually has to hold up because of Piroe's presence. And then that long crossfield pass is played again to Placheta. Continues to move forward, and Kioso's popped up to his right. It's a good ball into the middle, still alive. Leeds have got to get bodies in the way. First shot is flying wide, and then the referee is pointing for a goal kick. And Oxford are unhappy. They thought it was a corner, presumably.
Well, I think all of them actually said to the referee that it was a corner, so you probably think that the Oxford players are right. Wouldn't quite sit when it comes out. Brannagan it is. It just flicks off Tanaka.
So nothing doing for Oxford there. It was one of their brighter moments in the game, given that it was fashioned from open play. Ampadu back to Rodon. Poor ball given straight to Vaulks. Now more for Oxford. Piroe again working, chasing, and that brings its reward. Tanaka over the top. Piroe has to attack offensively
that
now.
Ball just kept going, didn't it? It looked like an excellent ball, just chipped over the top. Well, that will hold up, but it didn't. You can just see the wind is still really swirling out there. 25 minutes to go as well. You wonder, with the squad that we've got, with the games coming up, what Daniel Farker will do with a bit of rotation here.
There's plenty to go at from an attacking perspective, for sure. It's out of play. And Stoke City away to come on Boxing Day. 8 o'clock kickoff. Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome. Not. I think we'll be wrapped up for that game, Bryn.
Well, yeah, you're on top of a hill there, aren't you, at Stoke?
Yeah.
Ampadu. Just invited to keep going here, Ethan Ampadu, as Oxford retreats to the halfway line and beyond. Bogle's in an acre of space over on his right, but elects for something a bit more straightforward.
Ampadu's played well on his return, hasn't he? At the back there. Just picked up that understanding with Joe Rodon.
Who has the ball now? Rothwell. Tanaka back to Rothwell again. Leeds patiently probing here. Not the best ball that from now Tanaka. And so Leeds have got to chase back swiftly here, as Oxford move yellow shirts forward in numbers. Kioso on the halfway line. Aaronson goes in on Vaulks, but works the ball away from him to Brown. Now Leigh. Beyond Bogle, but back for Ampadu. That's a good ball. Solomon just stayed onside. Now Aaronson.
No.
Too heavy.
You could see it a mile, couldn't you? James made the run, but the ball was just fired in with too much pace on it.
Bogle's committed himself there, but he's recovered and does well enough to get the ball out for a throw-in. No sign yet of Leeds United changes, despite the presence of a number of subs on the halfway line. Oh, that's a poor ball given straight to Solomon, who can run directly towards the penalty area. Manor Solomon has played it in for a little touch finish from Brendan Aaronson. Immaculate! Immaculate from the American. Timed his run to perfection and then slotted it beautifully past the keeper and in for 3-0. And surely 3 points.
Excellent finish, really is a great finish, and delighted for him as well, because he's worked ever so hard, but what we also want to see is the other side of his game. Well, he's assisted today, and now he's got himself a goal. The run from Piroe was a good one, and allowed Aaronson then to slide into space. Found nicely by Manor Solomon. First touch is brilliant. It sets it up for a side foot, composed, finished into the bottom corner.
Well, Aaronson provided the perfect assist for Jaden Bogle's goal, and Manor Solomon has done the same there for Brendan Aronson's. Placheta has gone off for Oxford, and Kyle Edwards has come on. Play down the right.
Now I'm feeling toasty. Nice and comfy now. 3-0. This is better.
Edwards gets his first couple of touches. He's positive and he's still going. And it's gone through the middle. And then challenges a foul challenge just outside the D on Brannagan. And Ethan Ampadu, as captain, goes in to speak to the referee. But this provides Oxford with a real opportunity to have a shot at the Leeds goal. Brannagan holding his knee.
I think it was unfortunate. It was Tanaka that maybe stepped on his foot. He's certainly making a meal of it. He's got the free kick, so sure will be up shortly.
Meslier is organising his wall, which has further to retreat into the penalty area. And there are two players who are lining up potentially to take this one. Brannagan is one, Vaulks is the other. 4 in the wall.
Well, Vaulks is a player that played that horrible ball across goal that we picked up and scored from, trying to make amends.
Vaulks very much looking favourite here to have a blast. Into the wall. Appeals for hands, nothing doing. Still there for Oxford. The referee gets in the way. And because the referee got in the way, he has to stop the play. Just as Leeds were setting off on a counter-attack. It will be, I think, an uncontested drop ball. Subs being called back to the bench now. So I think we're going to see Gnonto at least on shortly. As the game is back in the Oxford half, wind picks up a little again. The goalkeeper manages to find Kioso. And then down the right for Edwards, who's got a lot of space, loads of time, and he's put it in hard across the penalty area. And it was too hard, and there's a foul committed on the edge of the box to give Leeds possession back, but just put too much on his cross there, Edwards.
Well, he's certainly been nice and positive, gets down the right-hand side, and you're right, the cross was fired in, wasn't it? Just a little too far in front of his teammate.
Corner flags swinging around on that far side, every which way they're moving. Tanaka, Rothwell, Ampadu into the last 20 minutes here. Byram to Solomon. Yellow shirts closing in on him, so he goes back to Byram instead. Now Tanaka. Nice ball to Solomon. Great pass into Brendan Aaronson. Controls, holds it up, gives it back for Solomon. And he's leaning back as he tries to strike the ball, and that sees it carry over the crossbar.
Oh, I just literally thought, why didn't he shoot first time? And then Solomon, same thing. Rothwell was on the edge, wanting the ball. There were options aplenty.
Changes a foot for Leeds now, with Ramazani is going to be coming on, and Joseph. In the meantime, Leeds trying to pressure a mistake, and they do. James, it breaks for Piroe in the penalty area. Holds it, gives it to Rothwell. Can't work it in back to Piroe though. And Oxford are handed possession back.
Well,
they give it away again.
Yeah, they're playing it back to us rather well.
Aaronson slipped, couldn't keep hold of it, and the keeper just about manages to control. Edwards with the header ahead of Byram. Good challenge, Ampadu sets Leeds on the way. Here's Piroe, and now here's Solomon. Solomon on the left foot! Well, that was an emphatic finish from Manor Solomon. Drove it straight through the goalkeeper there. And a good afternoon is getting even better for Leeds United. Leeds United 4, Oxford United 0.
Now that's a low, better, excellent ball here from Piroe as well, making sure he timed the pass, puts him a little wide. But Solomon thinks, right, I'm going to put my left foot through it, go for power, and it did go straight through the keeper, Cummings. That's more like it. 4-0. Now I'm feeling really comfy.
Changes plenty coming for Leeds United in the aftermath of that fourth goal. Ramazani, Joseph and Gnonto all set to join in. And there'll be big applause here for Aaronson and Piroe and Solomon. Two of them have been on the score sheet. Each one of them has provided an assist. That is some contribution.
Certainly is. And that's what we've got. We've got firepower. Our attackers all wanting to get out there and play. And look who we brought on. I'm thinking if I'm an Oxford defender now, really? Leave me alone, please. No more.
Yep, Oxford are on the ropes here, but Leeds are, I'm sure, keen to go for more. Especially as there are players out there now who want to make a big impression, want to get back in the starting 11.
They do, like Ramazani. I think he needs just more minutes. Before his injury, he was playing fantastically well, wasn't he? But can't get straight back in.
Ball's a little too far ahead of Sam Byram. Cumming comes to collect. And then just walks a little wearily up to the edge of the penalty area before playing it into the Leeds half. Onto the head of Ampadu. Gnonto. Good header back to Tanaka. That's a lovely ball inside the defender for the run of Bogle. There's plenty up on the edge of the area. Bogle can't find any of them, but it's come out for Rothwell. And then Gnonto. Bogle went for the run, but it's come the other way. Tanaka acknowledges. Gnonto. Space for Byram. In it goes to Ramazani. Dances past a couple of challenges, gives it to Rothwell. Rothwell to right then left. Now Ampadu. Constant cry of shoot going up every time anybody gets a pass just outside the area.
Oh, actually, Oxford are just hanging on, aren't they, on the edge of their box, trying to get near the ball, but we're moving it too quickly for them.
One consolation for Gary Rowett watching on is that there won't be too many more teams they come up against, I suspect, of this calibre. Gnonto. Still Gnonto. Saw a little gap open up and then it closed. Rothwell. Now Joe Rodon. Nice ball out to Dan James. Low ball in is a good one towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and Joseph swung at it, couldn't get proper contact, and it went behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, good ball, good run, but it's going way ahead of that near post. And the defender was there, not sure it was going to squeeze in.
14 minutes remaining here. The final home game for Leeds in 2024. Another change coming for Leeds. Schmidt. So Byram is able to get a little bit of a rest. And Schmidt gets a few more minutes. And then a triple change coming from Oxford with Scarlett and Long and McEachran all coming on. This is probably Craig Short giving Gary Rowett the chance to run the rule over as many players as possible in the closing stages of this one. And Vaulks is off. And then Mark Harris heads towards the touchline. Scarlett will go as a straight switch for him.
Felt a bit for Harris. He's the lone striker running around, but getting absolutely nothing in the way of service. Worked hard for no reward.
And then there's a mistake with what it says on the board there, because there is no 36. So instead, it's Kioso who's coming off instead. And Big Leigh on the PA has a little bit of fun with that. And Long is on. Bogle. Joseph. Not sure he meant that, but it worked well. Bogle from Tanaka. He'll have a little run here, Jaden Bogle. And then he'll curl his ball into the middle. Oh, it's a good one for Ramazani! Oh, skims his shot wide. Claps his hands together in frustration because he was all alone in the penalty area then.
He certainly was. A difficult ball to then deal with, but he did. And not only that, he showed composure to wait for it to come down. Struck it well, but just could not hit the target.
Maybe anxious to get back amongst the goals, Arji Ramazani. There's pressure on Piroe as the leading goal scorer for Shaw now from a number of different parties. Ampadu, header down. Tanaka can't quite get there. Edwards. And then Leigh down the left. Back to McEachran in his own half. And Moore turns under pressure from Joseph to Brown. Strong challenge from Bogle is a good one. Game goes on, man down. Tanaka, just one or two of the... Ampadu does what he deems to be the right thing there to allow the potential treatment for the Oxford player. Leeds are going to make another change here.
I don't quite see why he's holding his ankle or his shin. It was just a coming together. The ball bounced up.
The Leeds fans suggest, by way of a chant, that he's had enough. Guilavogui is going to join the action shortly. Leeds will be keen to keep the clean sheet, make sure that this is the best home win so far this season.
And 4-0, I suppose we've always kind of threatened to score a few. And if there ever going to be a game, I suppose this would be the one, but it doesn't always work out that way. We got there in the end. Could we get another one?
Well, there's plenty of time.
Yeah.
There's going to be quite a bit added on here because we've had this injury plus a host of substitutions with more to come. So you'd expect a good, healthy 5-minute addition once we get to the 90-minute mark, which is just over 9 minutes away. Guilavogui is just having last-minute instructions down below. Here's Rodon. Leeds' goal difference has been significant. It's the best goal difference in the league, and that's been useful in terms of popping above Sheffield United on more than one occasion. So Leeds will be anxious to keep improving on that, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. And no doubt fans and manager alike knows that we probably should have scored more, yet we are still the league's top scorers and here, scoring 4 goals.
Great play by Schmidt to Ramazani. Ramazani looks into the middle. Clips it towards the edge of the area. Tanaka can't quite get there, but there's a great interception from Ampadu. He's in the penalty area. Shoot! He did! And he just went wide. And a touch on its way gives it as a corner.
It is just a little nick off an Oxford player, but you just wanted either Joseph or maybe Ramazani to take a chance and run towards goal. Would have been a tap-in.
Well, the timing's good because Guilavogui is going to come on. And Leeds have a corner. Joe Rothwell. That's a really good round of applause from a packed Glen Road.
And rightly so. Rightly so.
He's turning into a very, very good signing, isn't he, Joe Rothwell?
Certainly is. I love his positivity when he's on the ball. He drives forward, commits bodies, and he really has got an excellent delivery of a free kick and corner.
So Leeds have got a change on that basis. It's taken short to Gnonto. James just on the edge. Gives it back to Gnonto. Puts it into the middle. Bobbles around. Big shouts for a foul in there, as you can hear from those with a good view of it behind the goal. Nothing doing. So the throw-in goes back to Dan James. Real sense that Oxford just want to get on the bus here.
They want out.
Whereas Leeds are very much still at it.
We want 5.
Well, why not?
Why not?
Ampadu stretches, can't get to that one. Tanaka stretches, does get to that one. That's what you want to see, isn't it, inside the final few minutes? Your team 4-0 up, but that willingness, that desire to make sure you get in and get the ball back.
Keep doing the right thing. Lovely habit to get into.
Rain comes down again at Ellen Road. Nobody's too bothered now. Enjoying what they're watching. Rodon. Tanaka. In all honesty, this game could have been several more to nil. Ampadu. Now Tanaka. Schmidt makes his run. Headed away from him. And Edwards carries it forward. And runs into the Guilavogui wall. Well, he didn't do much there, did he, Guilavogui, other than stand his ground?
The referee, I'm sure, saw that as I saw it, as just a kind of coming together, and Guilavogui gets a little piece of the ball. And he waited an age, referee, then to decide it's a free kick for some reason.
Attendance 36,646. The ball is on the halfway line. Rain really swirling around now as a few head towards the exits. Gonna get wet outside, that's for sure. Leeds win it back well. Joseph, runners either side, just behind James. Oh, look at that. What a shame it didn't quite open up for the shot. The double step over. Almost worked space in incredible fashion there inside the final 5 minutes. It's going to be as it was at the top. Sheffield United are winning away and Burnley are winning at home. As the ball goes back to Cumming, who's happy just to get it as far from the penalty area as he can. Rodon makes a challenge, but still in play. And Oxford have a runner through the middle if the ball can be played into him. But Ampadu, willing worker, gets in there to block it off. Now Schmidt in possession for Leeds, in to Tanaka. Ampadu back to Tanaka. Rodon. And now Guilavogui. Leeds maybe just approaching the part of the game where just want to keep possession. Showing other ambitions here though. James from Joseph. And there's Ramazani. What a save from the keeper. That would have been a sensational goal. Ramazani in the deepest run. His header was a good one, and the keeper with an instinctive stop to keep it out.
Oh, it's fantastic play all round. Joseph to James, and the ball in was superb. Ramazani times his run to perfection. Head it down. And normally they fly in the back. He can't believe it hasn't.
So Bogle to Rodon. And now Guilavogui. Tanaka. Leeds have got plenty forward here. And here they come again. James onside. Trying to take on Leigh. Leigh stands strong. James gets up, challenges him well in the air. Oxford spirit it away. Keep possession briefly. And then Rodon has the job of watching that one drop, swirl, move. Does well. Bogle wins Leeds United a throw in. We start to cast our minds forward to what's lying ahead for Leeds over this Christmas period. A couple of away games in the next two fixtures in the Midlands, Stoke and Derby, before Leeds get back here in front of the home supporters again. Tanaka to Schmidt. Back to Tanaka again. And Schmidt once more. In it goes to Joseph. Now Gnonto. Gnonto plays it into James. He shoots straight at the goalkeeper. And there were two sprinting into the 6-yard box just beyond. And goalkeeper holds on to it comfortably.
He does. It's a good strike. Straight at the keeper. Just went on a bit across the keeper if he pushes it out. Two boys were there.
The shots on target stat's going to be ridiculous for this game, isn't it?
It's better. It certainly is better.
That's gone all the way through from one penalty area to the other for Meslier. We're in the last minute. I'm happy for a few more. Ampadu in the centre circle. Managed a full game, which is great news for Daniel Farke and for Leeds United. That's a good tackle as well. There you go.
Nothing wrong with that knee. Excellent challenge from Ampadu.
Again, it's the desire to get the ball back, mind you. There you go.
He's got it. Not a problem. Lucky boy.
His name is sung by those away to our right behind the goal. 4 added minutes. Here's Gnonto. Played into Bogle. He'll have a go. They're all having a go now, aren't they? Just beyond Joseph and out and behind. And Cumming will be in no great hurry, I suspect, to get the ball back in play from this goal kick.
No, Oxford just want out of here. They've had enough, been well beaten. And we've, in the end, produced a professional performance to take all 3 points.
Let's see whether, just one more time, whether Cumming could put this one straight into touch from a goal kick.
Oh, come on, you can do it.
Entertainment. I think he might do it. He might do it. No, he didn't. He didn't. Disappointing. Schmidt. And it comes off Schmidt and out for a Leeds throw in. Two sides have had to deal with the conditions here. No question, one side's done it better than the other. And it has been a pretty miserable afternoon. And it's not getting any better. The scoreline is giving everybody a warm glow. Edwards for Oxford. Can't see the Oxford fans down below, but I would imagine quite a few have opted to get themselves back into the warmth of the family home at the start of this festive period. Gnonto into great ball, just ahead of Dan James, almost a great ball. And James had made a good run off the defender there, just carried beyond him and gave the keeper the chance to slide out and gather it.
Unfortunate, Gnonto spotted it, played it almost perfectly, just a little bit pacey.
As Oxford hold the ball in their own half. Joseph and Ramazani both lurking. And so is James. What's he doing running like that at this stage? The man who got it all going with his close range finish early on. Edwards is not getting to that. Out it goes. Schmidt, well, he could opt to take this one quickly. Not a lot on for him currently. Takes his time. In it goes to Tanaka. Clever to Bogle, who's got a lot of space in front of him. Leeds quickly moving bodies up the park here. Tanaka again. Schmidt waiting all on his own on this near side if anybody chooses to try and pick him out with a pass, and there's still a little more time, just over a minute remaining. Guilavogui. And now Ampadu. And still Schmidt waits. Short pass into Joseph, back to Ampadu. Now he gets his opportunity. Ampadu spotted it. It's bounced across Schmidt. He's going to go and keep it in play first. And then goes back to Ramazani. Now Gnonto goes across to the far side of the penalty area to Dan James. James shapes for the shot, takes the shot. And again, the goalkeeper is able to gather it into his body with white shirts buzzing all around him there.
Another shot on target. This time you're right, the keeper keeps hold of that one.
And that's the last action here at Ellen Road of 2024. And Leeds United certainly do finish with a flourish. 4 goals and a comprehensive victory against Oxford United that keeps Leeds right in the hunt for promotion. This has been a top quality performance with some great goals scored. And Leeds have given the fans a really good send-off for the year and now look forward to a very busy festive period with everybody hoping for more of the same. It's been an excellent afternoon's work and it's finished. Leeds United 4, Oxford United 0.
Yes, another very good performance. We showed that we've got a different level to this Oxford side. 1 or 2 little warning signs. However, once we got ourselves going in that second half, goals just started to flow. Movement was good, finishing was good. We peppered their goal. Could easily have been 1 or 2 more. But we'll take 4-0. That 9 wins in a row now really is impressive at home. Let's see what we can do about that away forward. But for now, everyone, have a Merry Christmas.
Absolutely right. Echo those sentiments. Have a fantastic Christmas from Tony and from I. And we look forward to joining you all again on the 26th when we will have made our way to Stoke City. It's been a great year here at Ellen Road for Leeds. And this has been one of the better performances for sure. It's finished here. Leeds United 4, Oxford United 0.
Yeah, thanks, Brendan, Tony, and the players there going off, taking the applause. Pascal Struijk, of course, injured, well, on the bench today, so didn't come on in the end. Manor Solomon in the centre there. How good was he today, Bridgie?
Outstanding. We talked about him before the game, saying he was coming in for Willie Gnonto. I said he was going to make an impact in this game, and you know, that's the quality of the player that he is. He's dynamic. His assist was brilliant. I thought his all-round performance was superb tonight, and he got his just reward. He got a goal, and I think he thoroughly deserved it. He was, for me, probably the stand-up performer.
Football teams have the ability to either make or break your Christmas as a fan, make you happy in the build-up or not. Leeds fans, 36 and a bit thousand, going home today from Ellen Road and wherever you're watching across the world with big smiles on our face after that.
Absolutely. I mean, I said to you before the game that this was it should be, on paper, the position that Oxford are in, their stats away from home, this should be plain sailing. I said 3 to 4-0. It had to be, but again, it's easy well saying it. The lads have got to go out and they've got to be professional. They've got to follow the game plan. The weather was going to affect it. And I just think, all in all, mentally they were switched on. They've given the Leeds fans the best possible Christmas present at home, Ellen Road. See you later. We'll see you back on the 1st of January in 2025. Well done, because the mindset for them to go out and do that and put on a performance like that, knowing that Oxford had a new manager as well that was here, they were getting scrutinised by him. Just a really professional and quality performance. So thank you very much, lads.
Professional and quality, describing how you're looking right now in the Leeds United tank top, which we said...
Well, I did bottle it. I didn't get my arms out because, you know, you don't want to see the guns on TV. But
it's a bit disappointing, Bridgie, because the idea was that you'd put on the tank top just... But you put on it.
Idea.
No, but it wasn't my idea. I want to give the fans the image that they want this Christmas.
There's still lots available in the shop, but after I've got it on here, they're going to be running out the shop. They're going to have to get more in.
It's a decent look on you.
It's lovely, thank you.
It's a bit snug. Just a little bit.
You're horrible, you.
Oh, we haven't even started Christmas yet. Really important. Sheffield United have won today. We know that away from home. But to keep our momentum going, we know at home it rolls on. It's a 9th game at home now. This form here it must be, when you're in that kind of form, you know teams are coming here thinking this is going to be difficult to get anything out of this game. It just give you a great feeling.
Do you know what I take from this is that I love it when you hear managers get interviewed afterwards, because they always say horrendous place to go. You know, really tough place to come. Ellen Road, the best team we played all season. We heard it from Sheffield United with Wilder. We heard it from several others. So you know how intimidating it is. It's our away form, which is, you know, hitty-missy. We've got to have that clean sheet mentality.
Hitty-missy, not heard that one before in the football lingo. Hopefully more hitty than missy over the next couple of games. We will, of course, as soon as we get some. In fact, we can cross, I think, in just a moment to hear from one of the Leeds United players. Just getting some sound coming through there, which we don't want just at the moment. But we'll cross down to the tunnel in just a moment to get some feedback. But they'll be all buzzing, having come off with a result like that.
Absolutely. And, you know, with, like I say, the weather conditions, but it's 4-0 win. The clean sheet mentality, the strikers have shared the load, the defenders. Jayden got in the score sheet. Jayden Bogle's got himself another fullback, scoring goals. And it's just a marvellous performance. So a clean sheet all round, a very, very good performance from the team. And like you say, going to Christmas with smiles on our faces.
Yeah, 2 big away games to come, of course, and then it is the visit of Blackburn Rovers, who we had a tricky time against away at Ewood Park, but plenty of football to be played. Plenty of games coming up over the Christmas period. We'll bring it to you all here, of course, here on Matchday Live at LEU TV. But let's cross down to the tunnel, where I think we can catch up with Jayden Bogle. Jayden, congratulations. First and foremost, most importantly, a win here at Ellen Road once again. Good performance for you, good performance from the team, a goal to boot. You must be delighted.
Yeah, we're all very happy with that result. I think the performance was there as well. We've been working a lot recently on how to create more when teams are sitting deep against us, and I think we've done that well today.
I was about to say, Jim, you made it. That's the big question mark. You know, there's a lot of teams, because of how we set up and how we play there, they come here with a fear factor. So how much work has gone into that behind the scenes?
Yeah, quite a bit of
defence is down.
Yeah, quite a bit of work, and I think it's just about finding that final bit of quality when we get into them areas, because when we do, we showed today we're able to score goals, so I think we just need to do it more often, and the goals will keep coming.
Jayden, for a long time it was 1-0 in that game, and then you stepped up to make us all just breathe a little sigh of relief and say, OK, it's going the way we want. So let's show you the goal here. We can show you this. You can talk us through it. Great bit of build-up play, and you're on the score sheet again.
Yeah, good bit of combination between me and Brendan, and then when I got in there, just thought, let me hit it across goal, and yeah, went in.
It almost seemed like when you found yourself in that position, you made it look so natural there, Jayden. I know it's not something you're accustomed to, but obviously the fullbacks that I'm loving this season, we've seen Firpo getting the score sheet, we saw Roba come on, you've getting yourself another goal. Are you just relishing playing in this fullback position under Daniel Farker because you're allowed to get the freedom to go into the final third?
Yeah, 100%. We have that freedom when we're attacking to go and get into goal-scoring areas, and I think the more people that can get into them areas, the more goals we'll get. So I think it's a positive thing that we can even get all fullbacks involved in goals as well.
Talk us through the game today in terms of the conditions, because it was blustery. There was crisp packets all over the place. No one wants to be playing through a packet of Watsits, but it was a tricky one today in terms of the conditions. How difficult did it make it to play the kind of football that you guys want to play?
Yeah, it was difficult at times, especially when the ball's in the air and it's moving all over the place. But again, that was a sign for us to try and keep the ball on the floor and keep moving it. So we didn't want to have any excuses. We knew what the conditions were going to be like. So yeah, I thought we dealt with it well.
I've got to ask after this, obviously there's a couple of away games coming up before we're back here on the 1st of January. What's the preparations going to be like for yourself and the family going forward for the Christmas? Obviously, you've got to keep it real, Jane. I know what it's like at Christmas for us footballers back in the day. I've let myself go now, mate. I'm retired, but obviously we've got to look after ourselves. What's your preparations?
We'll just be in for recovery and then hopefully get a bit of time over the next few days with our families to spend with for Christmas. And then, as you know, it's just straight back to it on Boxing Day.
Yeah, well, congratulations. A glimpse of future life when you finish footballing there, looking at Bridgie.
It's not pretty, mate. It's not pretty.
Have a great Christmas. Good luck with the 2 away games, and cheers for taking the time to speak to us here on LUTV.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Always great to hear from the players, straight afterwards. And I chatted to Jayden when he first joined the club and had a chat with him. We're in the next door studio, actually, his little chat when he joined the club, and he spoke about how excited he was to join the club, but how he wanted to contribute as well with assists and with goals, and he's just chipping in. It's important that we get players from all sorts of areas who are going to contribute.
Yeah, it is. I mean, first and foremost, as a defender, you want to make sure the clean sheets are there. Your defending has got to be paramount. So he's come in. That's why I wanted to ask him there about the freedom to go forward, because you've got to have that understanding. You've got to be confident with your 2 centre-halves and your goalkeeper that are behind you, that you're allowed to go when you want to go on that right-hand side for Jayden, and also on the left-hand side as a fullback, because you don't want to get isolated and then think, oh, I've left my defensive duties. So there's an understanding of when to go and how to go, and like you say, I think he's really embraced what Daniel Farke is playing, and our fullbacks are relishing it, because I would love to play in this system, doesn't matter where it is as a player, whether it's a fullback with a centre-half, everybody is chipping in to get the joys and the rewards of it. And like I say, the healthy positions that the lads have up front, when Daniel Farke can choose from, he's making big changes. We've got numbers, bringing on Willie Gnonto, bringing on Ramazani, bringing on Matteo Joseph. Man, there's teams in this division that would be crying out for that kind of quality in squad depth, and we have it.
Yeah, and I mean, you're a former striker, but it was a neat little finish from James as well, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's why I said he's not used to getting in that position, but when he got in there, he made it look so easy. And I think, another man that we'll be chatting to in a minute, in Tony, as a fullback, he would have loved this situation to be in, because they're getting goal-scoring opportunities.
Tony only scored him from about 30 yards out. He'll be the first one to tell you that. Before we go and chat with him, let's just go back to the start of the game, though, because it all started with that goal pretty early on, 9th minute. Dan James getting on the score sheet, but it was the man we talked about earlier, Mano Solomon, who did all the hard work in the build-up. He got his reward in the end, and we'll see his goal soon. But how good a piece of wing play is this from one winger to another?
Yeah, just absolutely fantastic. And I think, when we talked about him beforehand, he could have quite easily gone down with the challenge on the edge of the area. What I love is the way he looks up, he glances, he sees DJ in a much better opportunity to score the goal than he was, and he executed the pass in blustery conditions. And Dan obviously pointed straight to him there, and he said, you know what it is? Thank you so much, Solomon. That's the best Christmas present you could have given me.
Yeah, it's a great finish. And once again, we've spoken about the strength in depth. You alluded to it there with the players coming on from the bench. From a winger point of view, I mean, we really... Any team in the league would swap what we've got for what they've got.
Yeah. I mean, some teams I look at, I can name 2 or 3, 1 or 2 players that you'd be saying, if they lose them in their system, in their team, through injuries or suspensions, they are really going to struggle. Like I say, we have a luxury of the front third. There is an abundance of talent that can score goals. And, Dan James and Solomon here, the 2 guys, Willie Gnonto and Ramazani finished the match. It's just incredible how much luxury we have in that final third.
Yeah, we'll head to the tunnel and hear from Daniel Farke as soon as he arrives. Before we do that, let's head to our commentary team and get their thoughts as well. Bryn Law and the aforementioned Tony Dorigo, like I said, as a fullback, he's not interested in goals in the box. He scores them outside the box, 25, 30 yards, maybe even more. Let's get their thoughts after today's 4-0 win for Leeds United.
Only if you've got a really long memory, to be honest, Rich. But let's not talk about Tony's big goals. Let's talk about the big Leeds United goals today. Lots of them, and we enjoyed the ones we saw, didn't we?
We certainly did, yes. I think getting one early on is always a positive. 1 or 2 little scares along the way, but we always looked the class above, and it was always going to be how many rather than if we were going to win.
Because it could have been considerably more, couldn't it?
It could have been, yeah. We hit the target a lot, which is good. You know, sometimes you just have to ask questions of the goalkeeper. Conditions were always difficult out there, so just get something on target. You never know what can happen. I thought the keeper's kicking was shocking, or was it very good? I don't know. It kept going out in the same spot, but he did make 1 or 2 good saves in that second half.
There were some well-crafted goals there, weren't there? You know, kind of good movement in and around the penalty area.
That's the kind of goals we score. I think just the way that we move the ball. I think getting it in nice and early is always a positive for us. The first goal happened on a counter-attack. Solomon with a great run down the left-hand side, and that early ball really, caused them many problems. But some nice goals in there as well. Delighted for Aaronson, who works extremely hard. You know, he got his goal as well.
And that's another game that Leeds have taken control of early on, and then the inevitable outcome, isn't it?
Yeah, and there was a period, after about 60 minutes, you even thought, you know what, this could be comfortable. It was always going to be that sort of game, I think. I mean, I said before the game that the Oxford are down there for a reason. They have a new manager for a reason. They're not playing well, and they're trying to survive in the Championship. They're not going to be a good side, and that they came here, as well as they were organised and they were kept at it, you could see they lacked quality.
That game plan tends to unravel as long as Leeds get that first goal, doesn't it?
It does. Then you looked at them, didn't you, after a while, thinking they don't believe they can, do anything here either. They made some changes. They still just left one up top. Harris ran around, hardly got a touch of the ball. It was always going to be damage limitation. I think Gary Rowett knows he's got a job on his hands. He'll need a bit of quality in January if they are to have a chance of staying up. He'll like the attitude of his players, but this isn't their fight. Playing against us is not their fight.
Whose performance did you enjoy today then?
I always enjoy Tanaka. I think he's a really good player in that midfield area, but nice to see Ampadu back. I thought he looked extremely comfortable, the way he reads the game. A knee injury, we saw him come on, didn't we, before, just for a few minutes and looked a bit out of sorts, but I thought today he was really good again.
And so the home form now parked, 2024, Leeds have been almost invincible here at Ellen Road. But it's the away form that's the next puzzle in the jigsaw, isn't it? Part of the jigsaw.
Yeah, it is, and it's been a difficult one to work out, hasn't it? Because why should it be that different? Well, I know from personal experiences it can be quite different, but I think now going back to Stoke, I remember going back there a few times, frustratingly. How we lost that game, I don't know, but we've got to make sure that doesn't happen again. 2 good opportunities for me now against sides that mid to low. In the table, away from home. These are the ones now that we need to be converting to all 3 points. So it's going to be a great Christmas, but even better if we can start converting those points.
Yes, Tony and I will be resting up, and no alcohol will be taken, and we'll be on the road to Stoke.
He speaks for himself, by the way, okay.
Before all of that, we'll hopefully be hearing from Daniel Farke.
I'll not be going to Bryn's for Christmas. I'll be going to Tony's, that's for sure.
the Bryneth doth protesteth too much. It sounds like that. Okay, as soon as Daniel Farke is ready to give his post-match thoughts, we will bring them to you straight away. You mentioned Ethan Ampadu there, and we saw him. Just great to see him back, first and foremost, more than anything else. Yes, it was a good performance, but just to see him out there as a club captain must have been hugely frustrating for him to have that period on the sidelines. But he's back out there in a really good performance.
Yeah, Tony, obviously, talking about a defender there, he alluded to that. I said about Solomon's performance in the final third, but he's right, Ethan Ampadu, he just cruised through the game, and you think that's his first full game back after his injury and all the rest of it, and he just slotted in there perfectly. So Pascal was a big miss when you see that the injury's there and he didn't start, but Ampadu and Rodon, yet again, another clean sheet between the two of them, and Ethan just, he breezes games. He looks so in control. It's just easy for him. His education of being such a smart footballer as well as a very good defender that analyses, and he's able to read the situation when there's a defensive issue. He can sort it out. I just think he's a true good leader. And Tony said it there, just a fantastic footballer that looked like he's at home.
Just a very quick mention, because we might have seen this a bit better from our South Stand vantage here in the TV studio than perhaps it was shown on TV. But Joe Rodon looked a little bit uncomfortable with a few minutes to go in that match. Just down here on the left-hand side, you picked up on that. He didn't look 100%, did he?
He just chased the ball towards the corner there, and it just looked like he might have tweaked something in his hamstring. I'm hoping it's just a little bit of cramp, because I monitored him for the last 3 or 4 minutes, and he got around. Had a little chat with Daniel Farke after the game, so I'm hoping just wrap him in cotton wool, get him ready again.
Yeah, let's take a look at the third goal as that went in, as we go through this match sort of chronologically. Brendan Aaronson getting in on the goal, having set up Jayden Bogle. We saw that for the second goal today, and then getting himself on the score sheet. Again, great play by Manor Solomon, but this is a neat finish.
Solomon with the pass. I love what it is. Solomon just attracted 3 players towards him. Brendan recognised that there was a bit of space between the centre-half and the full-back there. He's still got so much to do, though, with his touch. And you just said there, he does so well. It's that touch out of his feet that allows him to do that. And then when you're in that situation, we've seen him a few times where he's tried to smash the ball. And I've said a lot of the lads need to take a leaf out of Joël Piroue's book, where when you're there, you just take a breath, relax on the situation, and then find your spot. And Brendan does that absolutely lovely.
He's also got the strength there just to hold off the defender, doesn't he? Just before he takes the shot, there's a moment where he just has to hold off the incoming challenge, and he manages to do that. And that kind of strength is something that he's been working on. In fact, we'll come back to this in just a moment. We can see Brendan Aaronson going off there to celebrate, which will have made the Leeds United manager very happy, and he's waiting for us in the tunnel with Bryn and Tony. So let's find out the thoughts of Daniel Farke.
Thanks, Rich. Yes, the manager has just been enjoying watching that goal back. You'll have enjoyed much of what you've seen today, I'm sure, Daniel.
Yes, of course. Impressive scoreline, another clean sheet win. Could have scored a few more, especially in the second half. I think largely had great chances, perhaps to put a few more goals on the scoreboard. But overall, pretty impressive performance and well-deserved win.
It was another one of those games where the opposition came to stop you, but didn't manage to do that, did they?
Yes, that's right. So it's more or less 46 times during this season the task. And yes, if we are on it like today, also like against the ball sharp in our counter-pressing, then we always have the chance also to create chance by chance. And then it's more like, okay, to put the goals away. And this is what we did today. Could have buried the game perhaps even a bit earlier, even the first half with good chances. But overall, after a 4-0 win during this busy period, you can't complain too much.
The conditions were really difficult as well, weren't they?
Yes, but in this type of conditions, then to be there with such a mature performance, this is crucial. So there are no pictures in the table, and you have to make sure that you are, however or whatever happens in terms of storm, weather, pitch. You have to be on it. And this is what we did today. We accepted also that sometimes a bit tricky, and it's also sometimes about fighting in the duels for second balls. It's always necessary, but when we had the chance today to keep the ball on the floor and to let our quality shine, we did this. And for that, yeah, I'm pretty happy that we were there with such a good performance in our last home game of this calendar year.
The game seemed won as well quite early. It's good to get a bit of rotation, 1 or 2 players onto the pitch, because this period will be key, won't it, with the squad?
Yes, we always spoke about that. This 8 games within 29 days are a pretty decisive period for the championship table, and out of the first 4 games we had right now 10 points. That's really good, but there are 4 more games upcoming before the 4th of January, and for that we have already drawn a line under the 3 points. We're happy with this, and we're happy that we can send our supporters home and they can have a Christmas celebration in style, but we are already on to make sure that also on Boxing Day and then 2 days later we deliver again. We want to win as many points as possible during this period. 10 points out of 4 games is a really good start, but we want to keep going.
So there'll be no celebrating from your perspective, I would imagine, then?
No, because the games are coming thick and fast. So we'll be in on Thorpe Arch, also on Christmas Eve, also on Christmas Day. Then already the traveling. So I know it's sometimes difficult. Of course, we would like to allow our players also a few hours more with the family, but it's difficult. So our supporters are allowed to celebrate Christmas, but we have to be in. We have to be on it, because we have something what we're working through, and we want to celebrate a proper party also in the next summer. And for that, sadly, we have to be on it in this period, and we'll celebrate then Christmas when there's time to do it.
Absolutely right. Tony and I will be following those rules as well, obviously.
No, we won't. No, we're going to make it up for you. Okay, we'll have yours.
And in terms of the fans today, another great crowd in here. At the end of a year, today, another great crowd in here. At the end of a year...
And I want Gary Rowett to do well, because I'm an Oxford United supporter, you know.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. BBC Radio Oxford Sport 0808 100 9100 to get your voice on Wasn't It the Game. The results elsewhere in the Championship today. Hull winning for the first time in 6, 2-1, longer than that, 2-1 against Swansea. Ruben Sellers getting 3 points for the first time. Portsmouth 4, Coventry 1. All 4 goals from Callum Lang for John Messinio's side, who've been behind. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Stoke 0, Burnley 2, Watford 1. Cardiff, who come to the Castad on Boxing Day, 2-0 defeat against Chris Wilder's Sheffield United. Kiefer Moore getting both goals. Millwall 1, Blackburn 0. Oxford the next visitors to the new. Thank you very much indeed. BBC Radio Oxford Sport 0808 100 9100 to get your voice on Wasn't It the Game. The results elsewhere in the Championship today. Hull winning for the first time in 6, 2-1, longer than that, 2-1 against Swansea. Ruben Sellers getting 3 points for the first time. Portsmouth 4, Coventry 1. All 4 goals from Callum Lang for John Messinio's side, who've been behind. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Stoke 0, Burnley 2, Watford 1. Cardiff, who come to the Castad on Boxing Day, 2-0 defeat against Chris Wilder's Sheffield United. Kiefer Moore getting both goals. Millwall 1, Blackburn 0. Oxford the next visitors to the new Den after Millwall won there today. Plymouth 3, Middlesbrough 3. Ding dong battle. Wayne Rooney's side get a point. They stay beneath Oxford United in the table, but they're the only team who are. QPR 2, Preston 1. QPR with an 89th minute winner after Preston were reduced to 10 men, and Sunderland 2, 10-man Norwich 1 the results. That means the league table: Plymouth bottom, Oxford second bottom, Cardiff also in the relegation zone, all